All right, guys. Welcome to episode 144 of the Drag Driver Pete Show, presented by Summit Racing. I'm excited about tonight, and I know I say that every week, but this one's going to be kind of a good one because we're going to get to learn some stuff, dude. I think it's going to be kind of fun to kind of dive off into some of this. So, our first guest tonight, after about 30 minutes worth of just Eric has made incredible notes. We've got some of the best updates that we've got coming from the community. But our first guest up about 8:30 in this is going to be Doug Vine from Moroso. This is going to be a good one, dude. You know, they do so much stuff. But what really sparked this, I want to give a big shout out to Cal Hayward because he was like, hey, I think Doug got me fixed up on this big block Ford oiling setup that we've been struggling with. So I want to learn some of that. I want to know kind of how that goes. So in talking to Doug, he's like, oh man, I'm in. He's like, I'm in to talk about some nerdy oiling system stuff. And so I think that's going to be good. I also asked him for one or two tips for drag and drive guys with oil pans, right? Like we just want to know what to do and stuff like that, right? Then in the second half, the back half of the show is what I'm going to call this thing. We have the Diehl Brothers on for the first time ever. I don't know why this is the first time they've been on, but one of my favorite race teams. I don't even know what to say. I mean, they have multiple cars. They're going to streetcar bragging rights. These dudes, we were joking before the show. They've got about 2.5 weeks before they got to leave for streetcar bragging rights, and they're getting 4 cars ready. And David gave me a tour of the shop, dude. Their stuff pulled apart like crazy out there that they're taking in 2.5 weeks. So going to be a great show. We're going to talk to them for about an hour, but they're actually wrenching on stuff right now to get ready for streetcar bragging rights. I'm going to text them about 15 minutes till, and then they're going to come in and sit down and tell us all the fun stories. So Mr. Eric White, if you'll hit the intro, we'll get this thing started.
All right, let's go.
Big shout out to Brian, who's been working on the intro, the new intro for the show. So I want to say thanks to him. The show and the news will actually have different intros, so it's going to be kind of fun. He's been working through that diligently, and I apologize to him because I'm pretty particular about this. Eric built an amazing one, and I want something to follow up that's better or next level type stuff. So anyways, guys, my name is Mike Narks. I am the host of episode 144 of the Drag Driver Pete Show, presented by Summit Racing. And my right hand man, Mr. Eric White, what you got going on, dude?
I am Eric White, co-host of the show and news. Right now, lots of artwork, which has been a ton of fun. Circuit stuff, getting that stuff ready, and working on a few things in the background that's going to be kind of fun for my side of the thing. So some announcements should be coming as I get things wrapped up on that, but super excited about that stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to put that out in the atmosphere, man. I think it's going to be kind of fun. Yeah, dude. It's been kind of crazy, and I want to start off by thanking our race car friends, and I hope that I get to see some of them this weekend. I'm going to be doing some funny car chaos stuff this weekend at Tulsa Raceway Park. So if you guys are out, please holler at me, say hey, yell at me, tell me, do better, whatever. I don't care. I just want to say hi to all of our race car friends while I'm at Tulsa Raceway Park for the first event of Funny Car Chaos ever to be held at Tulsa. It's going to be kind of cool. But guys, listen, I'm telling you, dude, the other night I say I was up at 1 a.m., but it was probably 2 or 2:30. I had gotten back up because I was just freaking out about the circuit stuff coming up. And man, there were people like making comments at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what are you people doing up? man. What do y'all got going on? But just want to say thank you guys so much for being around and doing what you do for us. And thank you so much to our sponsors, man. We can't do it without these guys. Summit Racing, Deech Works, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, who was on last week. It was kind of fun. AFCO Racing Products, who we're going to have on in the next few weeks. Performer Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, Low Dollar Motorsports, Power Tube TV, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all listen, if you're looking to spend some money, hit them up. Go do your stuff. I'm sure these folks have something to build a car with. We're just missing a few key components like wheels and tires. And I think we're probably set after that. So, you can get all that stuff at Summit, but hey, if we had a sponsor on board, it'd be kind of fun there as well. All right. Well, Summit obviously is the title sponsor of the show, News and the Circuit. So we're going to let Mr. Brian Loans tell us about some of the cool stuff they got going on over there.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable, and it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Oh man, I appreciate him and all he does for voicing drag racing. It's kind of cool always getting to hear his stuff. And this week, they've got a promo code that runs to, I think, the 29th. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, 29th there. Yep. On the bottom, use code VALUE, VALUE. That'll get you $25 off $250 and $50 off anything more than $500. And then if you're spending more than $1,000, hit us up. We've got a few discount codes left that will save you $100 off of $1,000. So bring it on. We want to help as much as possible, get you guys some stuff in your pocket. So again, use code VALUE at checkout. If you're spending less than $1,000, that'll get you $25 off $250, and that'll get you $50 off $500 too. And then anything more than $1,000, we got you on a discount code. So come on. Some comments over here. Miss April Barker said, currently watching the show and installing the new motor for the circuit. I can't wait to see them. That's a Mopar family, Mopar couple. They came out for the short circuit. She, big shout out to her. She helped me a whole bunch. Brandon Parker ended up having to leave after him helping me for hours. And then April Barker helped us get set up and tore down both. So she's pretty awesome. I appreciate her a whole bunch out here. And then of course we have the Drag Driver Pete Summit branded hoodies and t-shirts and hats, and we are an affiliate, so I do want to drop that in the chat because every little bit helps, right? That's kind of the goal lately. Like we're just trying to a little bit here, a little bit there. So if you use the link that's in the chat or that's at the top of our Facebook page or anywhere on our website, dragdriverpete.com, for Summit Racing, it just takes you, like, basically it gives us credit for sending you there. And if products apply, which there's some to do, some that don't, we may get a little bit of help from them. So just a quick way to say thanks and help and all that kind of cool stuff. So Summit's awesome. We appreciate them. And Tommy Dupree, or actually Brian Nutter, is going to be on. I don't have my notes up here for the guest list, but I think he's on middle of next month, maybe. Something like
Sounds
that.
about right.
8th or the 15th. So that should be pretty fun. We're going to talk about Pro LS and all the Summit branded, how they decide on parts, how they build parts, how it all comes together and all that. So that'll be a good time too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Some Drag Driver Pete updates. All the OG Race Car Friends shirts, which these aren't things we've posted out really publicly. This is if you guys don't know, we have a membership program. It's $10 a month. The people that signed up at PRI signed up for an annual rate, saved them some money. But also, we wanted to say thank you so much. So we created these OG Race Car Friends shirts, and these all have gone out. The last few shipped today, actually. So some people have been posting them in the groups and tagging us and stuff like that. We appreciate that. This is just a way for us to say thank you. And then also, as we get to events and stuff like that, if we see these shirts, if we don't recognize you from across the parking lot, we can see the shirt and know that we're out, know that, you're one of our supporters. We can go over and say thanks and all that kind of cool stuff. So I do have some big plans for the Race Car Friends member group, and that is actually, I can't believe it's already been 3 months into 2026, but I promise You guys are on my mind, and we're going to take care of you the rest of the year. It's going to be a good time. We have a lot of stuff planned, so it's going to be really good. And just wanted to say those are on their way, and thank you guys to everybody out there. We dropped a new article this week on our slow cars, our backbone of drag and drive, is what we're kind of calling this series. These are 10 seconds or slower in the quarter mile cars. This week we featured James Holth, which if his Carmen Ghia is not one of your favorite cars, I don't know what's wrong with you, because this thing is awesome. This article is written and put together by Brandon Parker. Big shout out to him. Thank you for coming on board and helping us with this. And then thanks to James too. I mean, he's the one answering the questions and all that kind of cool stuff. So that's kind of a fun one to read through. And this dude put a Temu turbo on just to make it through the week, and almost ran 10s with a Temu turbo on a Karma Ghia, dude. It doesn't get any cooler than that. And then the last little bit, guys, we are coming up. We are less than a month from the Motorama / the Mother Road Mayhem single day drag and drive for Drag Drive Repeat here. This is going to be kind of fun. So they're talking like 400 plus cars coming to Motorama. Again, it's like a I hate to say a cars and coffee style event, but it is similar to that. Like it's cruise in, I guess is probably the best way to say it. Come and go as you please, all that kind of stuff. So we are doing a drag and drive within that, just as a way, I think, really to kind of promote drag and drive to a whole new audience. So I think we'll have a lot of people come out and do that as well. So less than a month from that. So it should be pretty fun. Saturday's show, we are going to be drawing, like I said, for the folks that had registered by last Saturday's show. We're going to do some giveaways, so we're going to draw for those on Saturday morning.
That'll be good.
Oh yeah. Circuit updates, dude. I know you haven't seen this until right now, but the circuit is just a few days away, and Kylie Reynolds bought a car to come race, and he didn't buy just any car. He bought a serious car, man. Look at this thing.
Yeah, that's my style right there.
Big time jam. I'm all over this thing. He said it's very, very fast and should be a lot of fun. And I'm, hey, the cool thing is, like he said, he couldn't get his other cars ready in time, so he bought this one. That's
how cool is that?
Yeah. He said, I ran out of time getting my other projects finished, so went and bought a car for the weekend. So
I dig that.
Yeah. And then Manny Rice sent me a photo today of the packages out front, said he had just ordered a bunch of stuff from Summit and used the discount code. So Circuit Racers, you have an email from a few weeks ago that has a discount code in it. It's literally titled Summit Racing Discount Code on the email. If you have used that or can't find it, hit me up. We've got some more available as well. And just obviously needed to feature his Corvette here because the last 2 years, I think he's raced his F-150.
Yep.
So it's be kind of fun out here the first year in the Corvette.
Yeah, new car for him, so that'll be fun.
Yep. So it'll be a blast. And of course, I talked to Jesse Fox, official photographer of the circuit. He is bringing Benny. That is kind of the plan. And Benny will have the Rowdy motor in it. So maybe we'll see if we've got some time and let him make some passes down the track. I don't know. That's kind of the plan as of right now. So those are your circuit event updates. Again, do you have the notes there, how far out we are?
Yes, 36 days.
Oh my gosh. You have just stressed me out, sir. Tell us about some driven stuff.
All right, let's hit this video and then we'll jump into it.
Hey, it's Brandon from Fort Smith, Arkansas here. Driven Racing Oil is a performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application. Whether launching hard at the drag strip and during the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing the limits in top-fueled drag boats and demo derbies, winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cleaning and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil and enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance.
All right, DDR10 is the discount code to get 10% off the Driven Racing Oil website. So make sure you type that in as you're getting your oil for the season. So first up, registrations for the month of April. We're almost done with March. April coming up real quick here. April 2nd, Weekend Warrior Race and Relax. Registration will open for that. And then April 11th, we've got Drop the Hammer Judgment Day, the one-day event. That is when registration will take place for that. So still, if you haven't got registered for an event yet, on Saturday, we talked about a bunch of events that still had registration openings. And here's your opportunity with a couple more coming up here just in a few days for some and about a little over a week for the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next event coming up in 2 days. This is the first event since Sick Week. So kind of crazy. This kicks off really our catapult into Drag and Drive. So in 2 days, we have Road Trip Drag Challenge #1, March 27th through 29th at Warwick Dragway. So excited to get this going and really start jumping into the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bring it on, Australians. We want to see some stuff. Send us some photos of you making the trip.
Yeah. And then leading into April events here, we've got April 15th through 18th. We've got Streetcar Bragging Rights. Again, this is 21 days. So talking to the Diehl Brothers here, 21 days until that event starts. And like you said, they're out there wrenching right now on the car. April 18th and 19th is the Redwood Rally Chaos Cruise. That is Playas Pizza and Samoa Drag Strip, which we're going to talk a little bit more about here in a minute. But that is 24 days away. The Mother Road Mayhem, April 19th. That is at Tulsa Raceway Park. That is 25 days away. Carolina Drag Cruise, April 22nd through 26th at Shadyside Dragway. That is 28 days. And once again, rounding out the month of April, the circuit 2026, April 30th through May 3rd at Tulsa Raceway Park is 36 days away.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's awesome. Coming up real quick.
I can't wait, man. Bring it on.
So then actually talking about Chaos Cruise, they announced just the other day that Samoa Drag Strip will be open to the public during the Chaos Cruise. So spectators can do a little test and tune during Chaos Cruise. So that'll be kind of fun too. Get some locals out there making some passes, some test and tunes alongside some of the Drag and Drive cars. So I think that'll be a ton of fun.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, Cole's Garage said building my hitch this weekend to get ready for the circuit.
Heck yeah. And then in some other news, some not so exciting news, but totally understandable here. King of the Open Road did announce that they will not be having an event for 2026. However, there will be an event in 2027. So it said here, first of all, thanks for all the support over the last 5 years. Sadly, King of the Open Road will not happen this year. Last year, I got the chance to be part of a new corporate initiative for my company, life-changing opportunity. All of my energy and free time went into that for most of this year, as well as being a father and a husband. The last thing I wanted to do is give 60% of my energy and half-ass it, which we totally understand. I try to do everything in life 100%, and the King of the Open Road deserves that. The event will return in 2027, and better than ever, I'm going to take this time and restructure the event, making it better than ever. So disappointing to see for sure, but again, completely understand the reasons behind this, and excited for them to kind of regroup and, like they said, kick it off next year, bigger, better event.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what kind of format he has planned or what kind of changes he has planned.
Yeah, definitely something we'll probably have to reach out at some point and kind of get some lowdown on that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And then wanted to do a little recap here of TX2K. Some more sad news back to back here, I guess. Did you see this with Letitia Hughes and the steering shaft?
I didn't watch much live, but that's what I watched live was that. Like I turned it on and hers was the next pass, and I'm like, what the heck? The great thing was like slow-mo or something. It was pretty interesting. What happened?
The steering shaft had come out.
Oh my God.
So basically there was nothing she could do to steer the car but try to get it to a point, slow it down, and get it stopped.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. It doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of damage there, so that's a win.
No, I think it just kind of just scrubbed the wall just enough
Mhm.
to get it stopped. So
Wow, man,
pretty
that would be
crazy
so
there,
scary.
right?
You go to
Like no
leave, and,
steering.
like, the steering wheel is still hooked up, but there's no, there's nothing.
Yeah, for sure. And then in the streetcar elite, Jim Braun taking home the win there. So um, another drag and drive racer there as well. And Brett Lasala taking the 2JZ versus the world, 587 at 246, which is a new TX2K record.
Bro, that's insane.
That's
That
like
is,
pro mod level stuff out of a streetcar.
yeah, I mean, that's incredible on a small tire, like I mean, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
for
awesome. Those
sure.
guys, man, that car is next level.
Yeah. And then Cletus getting back in the winner circle, but not in what we would have expected. It was not in the stick shift class here. It was in Ruby, which is kind of cool to see.
Hmm.
So that was a very close race. I don't know if you caught that one or not. I got the replay on it. I think it was it 8/10 of a second or something, if I remember
Jeez.
correctly. So yeah, pretty close. But obviously, for those that have been around for a while and watched this stuff, it was cool to see Ruby back in, for one, in action, and two, taking home a W.
Hmm.
And then last one here for TX2K, Jimmy Dale coming home with a win in the streetcar class pro.
Yeah,
So
big fan. Love
pretty
the
awesome
50
there.
Shades of Brown.
Yep. So pretty awesome. Just a quick recap there of TX2K. Obviously, some drag and drive racers going on there. But again, that puts us at 50 events for the year. So again, dragdriverepeat.com/event list 2026 is where you can go to check out all of those events. And again, DDR10 is your discount code to get 10% out off of your order at drivenracingoil.com.
Yeah.
All
No.
right. So we'll jump in here to some J-Wire stuff, and we got some good stuff in here as well.
What's up, guys? My name is Cole from Fort Worth, Texas. Expert car and marine wiring solutions that you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, your race car, hell, even your drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience way better, like their blinker module that is just a must for all drag and drive cars. This module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. Find all the details at jwiresolutions.com.
All right. Well, this first one here you put in here, so appreciate that. You want to talk to this one?
Oh, dude. Jason Hurley made a post kind of cryptically saying some stuff the other day. Said moving to he said old turbos. Sorry, hold on. That's what he sent me. So he made a post showing this turbo. Said there's some changes coming. Immediately, like I think that post was up 4 minutes, and I'm like, bro, tell me more. I need to know. Right. So he said he's moving to twin BTR 94 118s. Come
Jeez.
get some small turbos. Tri-ball bearing and billet wheels. Pretty awesome. He said old turbos were an S492 mid frames. These are G57 large frames. It's going to be night and day difference. He said we have the engine fully assembled and ready to go and in the car with a brand new set of completely redesigned Molly pistons with block prep to 100% specs that were a collaborative effort with Eric at Molly and Danny McEwen, who's Jason's engine builder, formerly of Bowtie Engines, now Meltdown Racing Engines. Obviously, fully blueprint and assembled here in house. He kind of bought into that I guess it was late last year, something like that. So it's pretty exciting. He said, still transferring power through the Crowler 8 counterweight billet crank and rolling on Crowler lifters. Bubba again and I are still talking through some potential transmission upgrades. So again, this car, high sixes, street car, driven all over Colorado. This thing is so freaking awesome. And I love to see this car just continually progress. I think it was at Rocky or Race Week 2023 when he ran a like 200 point something miles an hour at Bandamere on the mountain. It was pretty awesome. So This again, one of my favorite people in Drag and Drive, one of my favorite cars in Drag and Drive.
Oh, for sure. It'll be exciting to see that thing come back.
Yeah.
And then in some more updates here, this came from our Race Car Friends group page. I thought this was kind of cool. Tyler Moles said, keeping the stock flat hood meant we needed to rethink a few things. And then it went on to say, so we made the switch to twin turbos, which
Nice.
I absolutely loved that, and said sometimes the build tells you what you need.
Yeah. And dude, flat hood stuff, super cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty the packaging sick. With that is pretty impressive.
Isn't it? Like there's a lot of room in there, and to be able to fit that all underneath a stock hood, flat hood, because you can see the cowl hood there up on the roof of it. So going from that to a flat hood.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Impressive. I like it.
And that's just gonna, once again, we talk about it all the time. You put a flat hood on that car and park it in a parking lot, and it's gonna be, unassuming that it's going to be pretty cool looking, right? Cool hot rod in the parking lot, but you're not going to expect what's under the hood.
That's exactly right.
Pretty awesome. So appreciate Tyler posting that in the Race Car Friends group. Was pretty cool there. And wanted to give a shout out to Matt Lang here with his Back to the Streets artwork. I don't know if you had a chance to see these, but these things are killer. They kind of look like a trading card, which I really like. So he's been posting a bunch of these, and just wanted to give him a shout out that I thought these were pretty awesome.
Yeah, big time stuff right there, man. I love that.
Yep. And then we got some cool news here. I don't know if you saw this. This just came late, I think last night, but this was posted by Drag Illustrated and said on Monday, the Kansas Motorsports Venue Protection Act passed with a vote of 120-0.
That's crazy.
And sent Governor Laura Kelly to sign. It will become law immediately upon inclusion of the state register. The bill allows the 20 current tracks in the state of Kansas, both in drag and in circle track, to have civil immunity against nuisance and property complaints by any property owner who has built a home or business within a 5-mile radius after any track that has consecutively operated with no lapse in operations for greater than 4 years.
Wow. That's huge. That is a huge win for the community.
Yeah. So we talk all the time, and we've talked about different tracks that are closing because of noise complaints, and we're starting to see more of these go into effect, which is awesome. Being proactive and putting these things in place so that we don't have to deal with those people that want to build a house next to a racetrack and then complain that it's too loud.
Right. When they tour those houses on a Tuesday at 2 p.m., there's not any loud noise. So when they get up, and it's Friday afternoon, they're like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Yep. For sure. And this one is also pretty cool. So Alex and Nick Taylor and their families, they are cruising Route 66 in a couple of hot rods for the 100th anniversary of Route 66 from San Diego back home to Arkansas.
How
did you get to check out any of these?
I have. These are the only pictures that I've seen of the trip. But I did after I read this note, I think I did go and I saw the Bob's Market post there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So a couple spots that they did stop here was the Neptune's Net and the Toretto's Market, both Fast and Furious facilities there or parts from the movie. So looks like they're having a ton of fun. And we talk about it all the time. Like, this is the year that you're going to see people do exactly this. Get in their hot rods and drive Route 66.
Yeah, so many people are making this trip. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. So super cool. Hope they have a wonderful trip. That's going to be a ton of fun. And then the last thing here, you want to run through these back and forth with me as we go through these? This was the Race Car Friends group here. I made a post that was, what are your favorite snacks and drinks during an event? And the Race Car Friends group showed out. So a bunch of cool stuff here. The first one, dang it, I forgot Josh Rich on the left there. Anything from a gas station with a glass case.
Yeah. Then Eric Gibson says Red Bull Energy or Monster Energy drinks and sunflower seeds on the drive, or some peanut butter crackers are great snacks also.
Which you and I know that we always
Oh, yeah.
get crackers when we're on the road too. Jared Nowinski said, the 1 pound bag of sour worms are actually going to kill me, but goddamn.
Nah, dude, preach, brother. Preach. Andy Savakinis said White Monster and Uncrustables. I thought that was pretty good. He said the breakfast, lunch, and dinner of champions, maybe even the midnight snack of champions.
Oh, yeah. And Jim Hopping said red vines and a cold Mountain Dew or 5 Red Bulls.
I like Jim. John Flanders says, does the bologna burger with chili at Shady Side on Street and Yeet count? Dude, I can't imagine. A bologna burger with chili? Oh, no way.
I'm just thinking, how do you make a pass with your gut rumbling the rest of the day?
Yeah, you're passing something.
Yeah. Jeff Kerchick said, I bought blue cheese combos once on drag week. I ate a few while driving, rolled the end of the bag and stuffed them in the driver door pocket. It was actually pretty hot out. Later, we stopped for lunch at a checkpoint and we got back in the car. Oh, man, it smelled like stinky cheese. And from that, a tradition was started.
So what's the tradition? Like, do you have to roll them up and put them in the door now? Is that what it is? You just always got to smell the cheese now? Dustin Carlington said C4 Midnight Cherry and Orange Slice or Ghost Cherry Limeade, followed closely by a Java Monster Salted Caramel. Man, sounds like fancy pants stuff there. Gatorade Fast Twitch. He said, you guys consume something other than caffeine?
And you know my answer to that. I'm the one out of us that's hammering caffeine and barely any food.
Yeah.
David Hart said, if you don't break the crust on the gas station nacho cheese, are you really living?
Oh, man. That's scary. And then Chucky Skinner says, I just tried my first Uncrustable. It's going on the list. Dude, Uncrustables are amazing. They're perfect for us 13-year-old boys when we're on drag and drive events.
Yeah. So, again, I appreciate everybody jumping in. These are just some fun topics that kind of come to mind as I'm looking at pictures and editing like this with the Love's Travel Stop in the background. I thought this was going to be a perfect post to, kind of get some thoughts on what people pick up when we're hitting these route stops and gas stations. Yeah,
Richard Brewer says Sour Patch Kids, beef jerky, and sweet tea. That's a pretty good combo right there. At least the Sour Patch Kids and the beef jerky. And then he said, of course, in Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Red Bull guy.
All right. Well, appreciate J-Wire for being on board. And that wraps up our J-Wire segment.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to the Molly. We'll play this ad read and then bring in our first guest, Mr. Doug Vine. So let me get this teed up here.
Looking for a forged piston kit for your vehicle? You need Molly Motorsport Power Pack. What is Power Pack? It's the ultimate forged piston kit that comes complete with pistons, performance file fit rings, hot string steel pins, and clips, all engineered to work together. So all you have to do is build something great. Find your Power Pack at mollymotorsport.com.
All right. And of course, Molly, dude, putting the pistons in Jason's car. I can't wait to see what that thing comes about as. Well, let's bring in Mr. Doug Vine. And before we get into it deeply, I want to apologize, and I want everybody to help me out here. Wait, what am I doing here? I was trying to make you, Eric, can you make him big? I've messed it up somehow. There we go.
What's up, guys?
Oh, man, I'm excited to have you on. This is going to be fun. But, guys, somehow I got my times twisted. Doug calls me this morning. He's like, hey, are we live? And, of course, I was still asleep. So then he had to wait like 20 minutes till I woke up. So just out here in the open, I want to say I'm sorry for messing that up.
It's all good. I read the text and I got confused, but here we are, right? It's all good, man. We'll make it work.
Well, and I think we're going to have a good time. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, Doug, I mean, obviously we want to start off, who you are, where you're from, and what you do with Moroso.
Yeah, so I'm Doug. Obviously, I've been with the company for about 18 years now.
Wow.
And progressed through, thick and thin with this company. So I started in 2008 and, obviously some troubling times when I first started at the company with the market crash and the housing situation. And made it through all that, and the company's kind of shed a couple layers since then, but everything is fantastic at our company. And so 18 awesome years with the company. 5 before that with a competitor's company doing the same thing that I do now. So I've been in the industry, 24, 25 years total now. Just racing background, a lot of motorcycle racing for me personally. Throughout high school and my later years working at the previous company that I was at, a lot of trips down to Englishtown before that closed down, obviously. So my drag and drive experience isn't quite up to par with you guys, but we're looking to change that. So we want to get more into that community and see what we can do to help out the drag and drive community. So again, thank you for having me on. And
dude.
Hopefully we can get some knowledge out of the company and shared throughout the community from you guys.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. And, a big shout out, like I said earlier, to Cal Hayward, who kind of made this initial introduction. And man, his car's just badass. And, for the folks that have watched us for a while, we covered that car being rebuilt. We talked about it just about every week when he would get updates or send us updates. And then he went down to South Georgia, blew an oil line or something, and then the car was down. And hopefully coming back together now, and you're a big part of that.
Yeah, we're trying to help Cal out as best we can. And I think it's always hard when you're not standing in front of the engine in the shop, kind of diagnosing things and peeling it back layer by layer to find out exactly what caused issues and how to diagnose things exactly. But luckily, I've been doing this so long over the phone with all of our fantastic engine builders that we work with. And so I've learned the tricks of the trade to try to figure some of this stuff out, over the phone and over video chats, things like that. So yeah, Cal kind of drug me into you guys, and I think that after talking to him originally, and then we do work with a couple of other drag and drive folks. Brian Robbins, great customer of ours. We do a lot with Brian, so he's on the phone with one of my colleagues a couple times a week, probably. So the drag and drive community, I think, needs us. We want to support it as a company, and I think that we have a ton to offer. Not even just saying a lot. I think we have a ton to offer the drag and drive community. So let's see what we can do.
Right, and I think one of the cool things about guys like Brian Robbins they're so smart, right? Like they've seen a bunch of stuff, right? And like Cal, and I'm sure there's hundreds of other people that are running Moroso parts, whether it be oil pumps, oiling systems, oil pans, spark plug wires, all that kind of stuff. Competition engineering, obviously a big part of that stuff too. So, I think this conversation will be good, and us having a person that we can kind of lean on for answers, at least for Eric and I on our side, to just kind of again have that knowledge. Like I put in one of the photos here, and I'll just pull it up real quick, but it's the new catalog, dude. 100+ new products in the catalog. Are you serious? Like, how do you, like, as a racer, how do you even keep up with that stuff? And that's why it's always good to have somebody, kind of someone to talk to, I guess, basically.
Yeah. I mean, the new products, we've been very aggressive with the past couple of years. And I would say we're going to continue to grow on that a little bit more year over year here. We were in a big meeting today, sales and marketing meeting, and we were kind of looking at all the numbers and trying to figure out where we really need to focus our attention for the racer, and that's really what my company has always been about. Dick started the company back in the mid 60s, and that's Rick's dad. I now work for Rick. He's the second generation running the company, but Dick started it basically out of his basement in Greenwich, Connecticut. And back then the company was called Speed Associates, right? So we started there. And in 1968, he founded Moroso Performance Products. That's when it really started to progress. He won the NHRA D-modified national championship in Indy in 1966 with this car that you're seeing over my right shoulder. So that's the original 61 Vet right behind me on that trailer. Wow. And that's one of Rick's late 70s Caprice wagons pulling it. So that's a 632 powered. Yep. That car, you know, we've never had it on the dyno, but I think it's probably checking in right around 900 to 1,000 horsepower. So Rick, you know, the owner, is heavily entrenched in the motorsports market from day one. I mean, 2002, he won the NMCA Hot Street National Championship with his Corvette, with his C5 Corvette. You know, and it's just progressed from there. It's a family of drag racing. I mean, the Morosos have been in it for so long, and
almost 60 years. That's insane. Yeah,
we're coming up on 58 years, you know, as a company for Moroso, but really it's been close to 62 or 3 for, you know, when Dick actually started. Wow. And the history of the company is just so rich in racing that people need to know who we are. If they don't know who we are, which most do, but the younger generation, and I think doing the research that I've done the past week or so, getting ready for the show, there's a lot of younger folks that are entering the drag and drive community now. It seems like you guys have some classes that really would fit into these people's budgets. And we want to make sure that our name is still synonymous with those folks too. So it's important to.
And the cool thing is you guys have laid such groundwork for so long that I mean, obviously we're not telling anybody that's watching this show something they haven't heard already so far, but like having a wagon with 900 horsepower towing the race car, bro, instant street cred.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's one of, I think, three, well, really 4 wagons that Rick has.
Oh, man, I knew I liked that guy.
and yeah, and they're all very interesting by character. When you see each one, they're all very different. They all have a purpose for what he wants, and they all have enough power to tow his 61 around too. So if I could get him to bring the 61 to a drag and drive event, I'll ride shotgun with him any day of the week. So,
hey, hell, bring one of the wagons, dude.
Absolutely. I mean, bring them both, right?
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
So yeah, and you know, just going through that, and then our whole history with Winston Cup and NASCAR, through Dick, through the 80s and early 90s. You know, that has given us so much information on endurance racing, and we can apply some of the stuff we know from those days and what we've learned with the endurance racing, you know, with the cup racing, to the drag and drive things, you know, because it really comes into play with oiling systems. Oiling systems suffer greatly from what you guys are doing. That's what kind of led me to you guys because of Cal's issue. And racing in general is just really tough on oiling systems. And honestly, guys, I don't think we get enough credit for what all is involved with it, what my company does.
Dude, I guarantee it.
You always hear about the power adders. You always hear about the chassis guys. You always hear about this. You don't hear much about oil pans and oil pumps. And I think we could all agree on that. But the products that my company makes keeps these engines alive. And it's very important to give credit where credit's due, I think, right?
Yeah.
So and not to put myself on the back too much of the company, but, you know. It's just,
and that's one thing that's great about like the history in circle track and endurance racing is that, I mean, that's really what we're doing. These engines aren't typically built to do what we're asking them to do. And from a manufacturer side and from your side of stuff, with us being abusive on that stuff, it only helps your side create better products. You know what I mean? Like if it can last and make it to the next track or make it that 1,000 miles on the street, dude, you got a customer for life.
Absolutely.
Jeremy Ortiz, given the pan number that he's got on his LS Swap 240.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I mean, you know, I know we have a lot of probably customers that are in the drag and drive community, and we're here to support anyone who supports our company. Number one, customer service for us is like numero uno. It's what's kept us in business for the last 58 years. We go above and beyond to make sure our customers get what they need. They get answers. Someone answers the phone when they call. You know, it's an all-encompassing challenge to make sure all of our customers are treated the right way. But we figured out a way to get that done over the years, and then we're going to continue to do that. You know, and we want to bring service to the drag and drive community. So if we can get more involved through you guys, through you know, the promoters, I think you're going to see that we're going to start probably working on more of that here in the coming days. So yeah, absolutely.
So talk a little bit about Moroso and competition engineering, how they coexist with both companies pushing the whole brand forward.
Yeah. So we, the company bought competition engineering from a person named Mike Valerio. Now, many people may remember him as a wheelie bar guru. And he's the guy that created competition engineering. So we purchased the company from him back in the, I believe it was the late 90s, early 2000s. Excuse me, the mid 80s actually on that one. So competition engineering is under the Moroso family of companies. We have 3 companies actually under our umbrella. So we have competition engineering, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but we also own Moroso Wire Technologies, which is our ignition wire manufacturing plant down in Philadelphia. So we manufacture our own ignition wire as well. We'll get into that a little bit later. Back to the competition engineering. So that's all done out of our chassis shop. And Rick had a chassis shop separate of our 70,000 square foot facility that we do most of our manufacturing in. And that's where we kind of were working on a lot of that stuff in the background. Yeah.
Sorry, Penny Barbone. I'm wearing the Sam Squat shirt tonight.
That's it, man. That's a cool shirt, by the way. I like that. What does that all mean? Is that his logo?
So the Sam Squatch is the Geo Tracker that's twin turbo.
Okay.
I think still small block Chevrolet, but on the back it's super cool. I would get up and model it, but you know, let's just be honest. I'm not that good looking from the back. It's all front right here.
Oh boy. Hey, anything Sasquatch or Yeti, I'm into.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the competition engineering brand, you know, it runs out of our facility, and it's all of our chassis line of components. You know, we do everything from back half kits, complete back half kits. So you could call, you know, Summit, or, you know, your great sponsor, Summit Racing, and you could order a complete 4-link or ladder bar back half kit. I'm talking welded frame rails, completely assembled, ready to go. You're going to get a complete 4-link assembly, rod ends, bars, bracketry for your rear end, everything you need to install a complete 4-link kit in the back half of whatever vehicle you're going to put it in. Whether it's going to be a Suzuki Samurai or a Honda Civic with a V8 LS conversion in it, or a 69 Camaro, you can custom make your own. So we offer that service. We do that through our wholesale, you know, retailers like Summit Racing. So that's you know, a huge portion of that business was learned over the years through Rick's chassis shop and our chassis guru Paul Minori that works at the shop. And you know, in addition, we do our own fabricated 9-inch rear end housings. We do 12-way adjustable shocks. We do ladder bars. We do 4-link kits. We do steering columns. So we have pretty much a complete catalog for chassis builders within our Moroso catalog through the CE brand. And it's just, you know, as far as the drag and drive community goes, if you're not familiar with CE, you should check it out on our website, because we have a lot of stuff that all of you guys are going to be needing to build a successfully, working drag and drive car.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I was trying to go through some of that stuff today, and I was like, "This is overload, man."
Yeah, we have close to 4,000 active SKUs right now.
That's awesome.
Which is probably one of, we're probably one of top 5 in the industry for active SKUs in our catalog. Now you could look at other larger companies that own a bunch of brands, but again, this is Moroso. We don't have all these little spin-off brands that we rebrand things under. And it's been privately owned. As far as we can go with American-made products, we push it to the absolute limit. We do not like bringing things in from overseas. Everything is kept in Connecticut, manufactured in Connecticut as best we can, with 100% quality guarantee. So, awesome. Yeah, so that's the CE side of things. A lot of stuff offered through the CE catalog to help build a drag and drive car, 100%.
That's awesome.
So kind of talk a little bit about oil pans and stuff. So I seen Vinny saying that he's waiting on an oil pan for his engine. So somebody like me, I have a stock LS oil pan with welded bungs on it. How does like a Moroso oil pan, how does that better than, like something like what I'm using today?
So your question is, why is a Moroso pan better than what you currently have?
Yeah, kind of talk about like the benefits of the
Sure.
pan that you guys offer.
So depending on what level of pan you get, we have mild to wild, baby. So we service the cheapo short upgrade customer all the way up to a NHRA Pro stock, right? So we take a lot of that technology that we learn from the engine builder, from working with the engine builders and the race teams, and we try to trickle that down into everything we build. All right. So usually always with a Moroso pan, I'm going to say 98% of our pans have at least a trapdoor baffle assembly, some sort of windage tray added, usually a crank scraper to keep the oil from splashing back on the rotating assembly. It's got the features that we know work for the race engine builders. We pull those in and we try to keep those incorporated in all levels of pan that we offer. So if you bought a stamped steel Moroso core base pan, we call them, like a let's say a 20403, which is a big block Chevy rear sump stroker pan for a Mark IV block, which there's probably hundreds of those floating around the drag and drive community.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get at least a screen windage tray. You're going to get at least a crank scraper, a trapdoor baffle assembly, and then a windage tray to keep all the oil down in the sump, hard acceleration, keep the trapdoor open when you're accelerating, slams closed when you get on the brakes at the end of the track, keeps the oil under the pickup tube. So oil control is huge with all of our pans. Windage is huge with all of our pans. Keeping the oil away from the rotating assembly is very important. If you ask any engine builder, windage will kill your day. Ask Cal Hayward; he'll tell you all about it.
Oh, yeah.
So those are the features we try to build into all of our pans, and why they're better than like a OEM cast pan or something like that is the OEM's just cheap. There's nothing in them typically.
And they're not worried about drag racing. They're not worried about that kind of momentum.
Yeah, with the G-forces, launching the car, slamming on the brakes at the end of the strip, you have to keep that oil controlled. And the faster you go, the harder those G-forces are pushing on that fluid, pushing it back and pushing it away from the oil pump pickup tube, which has to stay covered or you're going to start sucking air, getting windage issues, cavitation problems with pumps, and that's when your engines start to blow up. So it's very important for the oil control. Yeah, that's really where we would differentiate from an OEM type pan. All those features. And then the other big thing is the capacity. Almost all of our pans add at least a quart or two of extra capacity, depending on how big you go with the sump and if you have kickouts and things of that nature. So that's another thing. You get a ton of extra capacity, helps keep the oil cool, helps keep the engine happy. And again, the name of the game, I think, with the drag and drive is keeping your oil temperatures at a sustained level where they're not going to be overheating and boiling and causing windage issues there. But we also want oil temperature because we need the oil to move around well in the engine through the pump to create volume. So there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Right. Well, let's talk about also, I'd like to have just a quick lesson on, wet sump versus dry sump. If you can kind of give us that rundown, because every time we see this spider looking thing on the right side, I get anxiety. So.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on there. So the dry sump versus the wet sump, it is a big deal. I'm going to use Cal as an example. So Cal called and said, "Hey, I'm having these issues with my pan, and I tested out a dry sump system, and it improved my oil pressure problem tenfold on the dyno." So he wanted to spec out a complete dry sump system for his engine, and that's what we went ahead and did over the last couple of weeks. So we're building Cal a complete dry sump pan specific to his engine block and his combination that will fit exactly into his car. We've spec'd out a tank for him that I think is going to work real good because it's going to have a lot of extra oil. Now, the differences between a wet sump and a dry sump system are going to be this. The dry sump is the ultimate oiling system. Okay, it doesn't get any better than that. So that's the top of the food chain for oiling systems. And what it allows is we're pulling the oil out of the engine. So there's no oil collected in the pan. As soon as that oil drops down through the valley and drains back, we're scavenging that out of the bottom end of the engine as quickly as we can. We're returning it to the pump, we're returning it to the tank separately so that it can deaerate, collect as a solid lubrication mass back in the tank, and be drawn back and pressurized through the pump and pumped back into the engine as a solid. Okay. Now, when you're doing this with a wet sump, it all has to happen within the oil pan. And when that happens, you get a lot of extra air and oil mixture. You don't get the deaeration portion of the system that happens separately inside of the tank. So within the tank, we have these deaeration baffles that are specifically made to get all the air out of the oil. When you pump oil through an engine, it gets compressed and shocked, and it gets air pumped into it constantly. So it's really important to get that air out of the oil before you repressurize the engine. And the dry sump does that. The other thing that the dry sump does that the wet sump won't do is that you can create crankcase vacuum with a dry sump pump. So the more stages of suction you're pulling out of that shallow pan helps promote ring seal. Okay. And if you have a good hone on your cylinder bores, and you have a good efficient pump that can draw a lot of air and oil out of the bottom end, it's going to promote a lot of vacuum. Okay. And then promoting vacuum helps seal up your rings and helps promote more power in the engine. So we've got people, with our tri-lobe series of pumps, we can pull, 15, 16, 17 inches of vacuum with just a dry sump pump without a vacuum pump involved. And in doing that, it promotes, active ring seal, better ring seal, and it creates more horsepower that way as well. So, some people would say, well, it robs power because you turn the pump to drive the pump, you're robbing power from the engine. However, promoting that ring seal and promoting the scavenging out of the bottom end of the engine really helps, pick up power, and it adds efficiency to the oiling system. Whereas with a wet sump, you have oil sloshing around all over. You don't get any of that good efficiency for the ring seal with that wet sump pump. It's just, they can't do it. They can only handle what they can handle. Their one little job, and that's about all you get at. So,
and it's just that's holding oil in the bottom.
Yeah, and it's sloshing around, and there's huge benefits. That's why you see all these top pro mods, all these, Hemi powered, pro charged or Hartz charged or twin turbo charged, they all have dry sumps on them at that level because they need that efficiency inside the engine. And it's not just for power, but it's to maintain solid oil pressure wherever you're at in the system. Wherever you're driving, on the track, off the track. It's going to maintain solid, consistent pressure at all times. And it's just the premier way to keep oil under control.
Right. And I mean, I think that kind of leads into my next question I have on here. At what point do racers need to begin looking at a dry sump, maybe moving from a wet sump?
So the best answer I could give you on that is when you start having issues with a wet sump system. We have plenty of cars out there that are, they're going, their 60-foot times are insane, that are still running wet sumps. But in a lot of those cases, we've designed the wet sump system to handle that. Your basic wet sump internal pump system is not going to be able to handle those G-forces. You're going to start to see oil pressure fluctuation on your launch. Your 300-foot, you'll see, a lot of squiggles on your data acquisition. If you're monitoring oil pressure, you're going to see a lot of squiggle marks. You're going to see a lot of inconsistencies jumping up and down. The other thing is drain back is a huge issue with a lot of these wet sump engines. If you don't have really good drain back to the pan and you can't get the oil back to the pan fast enough with a wet sump, you're also going to see starving for oil. You're going to see pressure inconsistencies with that. So once you start to see these problems, and it comes with power levels of the engine, it comes with mostly, ET times is big. That's going to be the biggest thing. There's only certain you can only go so fast with a wet sump before the dynamics of the system just go out the window. Fluid physics can only handle so much, right? So to get past that, we have to go to a dry sump. That fixes those problems because there's no oil sloshing around. You're not relying on the pan to control the oil. Now we have a pump drawing it out. We're controlling the oil in the tank with the pump. It's a totally separate deal. It's totally different. And it's just, they're two different worlds. So to answer your question, when you need a dry sump is when you start having issues with the wet sump system, not be able to handle the performance of the vehicle. You wouldn't necessarily see it when you need a better system driving down the highway in a drag and drive situation, but you'd absolutely need it on the track. That's when you're really going to see a need for a dry sump. You're going to see oil pressure fluctuations. You're going to see burnt up bearings. You're going to start puffing oil, and you're going to see engines start to blow up. And that's when we're going to have to go to a dry sump for sure.
Right. And I guess I was thinking of as decel, that oil is going away, but even on acceleration, like you may, if you're leaving hard enough, that oil is pulling away from the front of the pan or sitting in that pan, it's pulling up onto the crank and all that kind of stuff. So
absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's going to walk right up the back of the pan. And even when you put a shelf baffle back there and you baffle it up real good, you still can't get away from the G-forces, right? It's like being in a fighter jet and having them go to afterburner. I don't care who you are or what you're going to do. You're never going to be able to lean forward in that thing. You're going to be stuck to the back of your seat. Most of us have never been in a fighter jet, but I see a lot of videos on YouTube, and that's what it looks like. So that's what I would compare it to. You're stuck to your seat, and you ain't moving until that thing's let off the afterburner. You know what I mean? And the same thing happens with your oil. You're just stuck there. And in order to get it correct, we have to build around a better system, and that's what the dry sump does.
Interesting. Well, as we kind of wrap up here, what are a few tips, one or two tips for drag and drive racers that you think we could use from your vantage point and knowledge?
From Moroso, oil temperature is huge. Keep an eye on oil temperatures. Oiling systems related don't react well to a lot of oil temperature or running on cold oil. I think I was looking at some sick week footage of guys in the morning in Florida, huddled around heaters and having to run their cars in the extreme cold, So I hope that doesn't bite you guys too much in the future, depending on geographically where you're located. But they had some pretty cold temperatures down in Florida that week, and if you have to go make passes in your car, you got to make sure that oil is heated up. Oil does not move through engines when it's sub 100 degrees. And there's a lot of damage that can occur. There's a lot of problems that can come with it. So I would tell anybody who's a drag and drive person to monitor your oil temperatures. It's huge for us. There's a lot of negative reaction to cold or really hot oil. So keep your eye on that. You know, any other tips for drag and drive? I mean, gosh, there's so many I can go into, but the other one would be probably monitoring your air pressure, right? So keeping a good air pressure gauge in the car with you, or in your box, or on your trailer, or however you're getting your stuff around with you. We're big oil air temp guys, so if you can keep your tires checked all the time with a good air gauge, and you know, I've seen a lot of people at the racetrack like borrow a tire pressure gauge from their buddy. You want to consistently stay with the same tire gauge, because even if it's off by half a pound or a pound, I don't know, again, in the community, how in depth these guys are getting with tire pressure, but it's a good idea to keep a good solid gauge in the car and make sure that your tire pressures are spot on when you get to the track and when you're driving on the road, because it could change frequently when you're doing these things, and some people probably aren't checking that as well as they should be.
Well, and I'm sure they check them, and then they're like, okay, suit up.
Sure.
Time to sit in the lane for an hour.
Yeah, it's big to make sure that car goes down the track straight and handles well. But then again, you're changing tires when you're leaving, so keeping a good gauge, a 0 to 60 gauge instead of just a 0 to 15 gauge, so you could check your street tires along with your race tires when you swap them out at the track when you're going to head towards the hotel or wherever you're leaving the track to go to. Keep a good tire gauge in the car. That'd be important for you. And then it's just keeping your oiling system up and running and in good condition is very important. It's going to keep your car running for longer. It's going to keep you heading down the track more passes without having to worry about things and burning stuff up. So just keeping a check on your oil levels, things like that. Blow by is a huge problem with those cars too, I would think. So making sure your PCV's not chugging down all kinds of oil as you're driving to your next track or your next hotel. Just keep an eye on all your oiling system related products. That's really important for us. So those would be my three biggest ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good tip for sure.
Yeah, if we can get back on and do some real in-depth tech stuff with the oiling systems, that would be cool.
I'd love that.
If you guys would want to do that at some point, we would be happy to do this again.
Yes, certainly. I would love that.
Absolutely.
Well, before we let you go, can you make sure and let everybody know where they can follow all of your guys' stuff?
Yeah, so we're at Moroso Performance Products, Moroso Performance Products on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. So Moroso Performance Products should come right up once you type it in. Should be a round circle with our logo on Instagram, and then obviously our Facebook page it's got the montage of the company in background, and and then if you need to purchase anything, you head over to moroso.com, and we can help you out there too. So if there's anything else, and again, can I just give a shout out to Summit Racing? I know they're a sponsor of the show. They're one of our best customers, and if you guys need anything from Moroso, head over to Summit Racing Equipment. They're great for us, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, always a ton of stuff, man. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Again, I apologize about the time mix-up. I am glad we were on here live, though. I don't think we would have had the conversation we had if we had pre-recorded. So again, thanks for the patience, and dude, I can't wait to have you back on. What I love, and I say this all the time, I love when don't take this wrong way, but when nerdy people get into cars, like when folks get real technical and stuff like that, it really is a lot of fun for me on my side, just because I think we all learn. At the end of the day, and it's really cool to see cool dudes kind of nerd out for a minute. So I'd love to have you back on probably mid-May. I think is probably our next roundabout, and I would we'll go through and we'll get some questions gathered up and get some people that are, definitely running not just your stuff, but just that have questions and just want to dive into that stuff. So
yeah, let's get that scheduled out. I'd love to be back on, and we could really geek out on some oil flow info and some temperature stuff and some testing stuff that we could bring up some screenshots and some screen shares, and maybe we could get Cal on, because I think at that point he'll have been totally converted over to the dry sump. So maybe we could bring him in too.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, sir. And maybe even Brian Robbins. I know that dude's smartest. So
that'd be awesome to have Brian on too. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thanks, Eric. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you guys, and we look forward to the next one.
Yeah. All right, Doug. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
See you. How cool, man. Do you feel dumb now? I feel dumb. I don't know if I've ever had anything that I feel like would have needed, obviously a dry sump setup, but I'm definitely thinking we are going to build another car in the near future, not just your car, but something after that too. And, it's got me thinking, like, instead of spending the money on a factory swap pan or what, like I have a CTSV pan in the old truck. Yeah, it'll never see the G's that I would be concerned with. But, we start looking at some of your stuff, like your car, once we get that thing kind of dialed in and into the eights. I mean, that is something we're going to need to look at, as far as what do we do to make that right? Because, our budgets aren't necessarily built to have replacing motors a whole bunch.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's good to learn that stuff from Doug. Like, that's obviously stuff that I didn't know about. So it's good to kind of hear that stuff and learn while we're on here.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to what we're trying to do with guests like him and some of our other guest manufacturers, just learn that next step instead of just using what your buddy used. Why should I use that? Why should I use this? What should I look for next? So again, big shout out to Molly. Guys, they're not just some badass piston manufacturers. They're also like drag and drive racers. George's 700 horsepower in a Duster, and then Eric Grillio's 10-second stick shift Nova. You know what I mean? Like, it's these guys do it up. So, well, if you will, sir, why don't you thank some race car friends and sponsors, and then we'll bring in the Diehl Brothers.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you all of our race car friends for being on here tonight and listening to Doug and about to help with a conversation with the Diehl Brothers. Again, appreciate all of you guys, all of our race car friends, and again, our sponsors. We can't do what we do without this list of sponsors right here: Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performabuilt Transmission, Car Change 3D, Low Dollar Motorsports, Power Tube TV, and Racing Junk.
For sure. Deechworks, of course, is the official fuel delivery of Drag Drive Repeat. They're a leading manufacturer of high-performance fuel system components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, pumps, fuel rails, regulators, filters, lines and fittings, plus surge tanks and pump modules, all engineered to support power levels ranging from 400 to 3,000 plus horsepower. With a focus on engineering excellence and industry-leading customer support, Deechworks continues to drive the future of high-performance fueling. Of course, discount code DDR10 gets you 10% off at deechworks.com. Jump over there and get all the fun stuff. And again, another really smart, nerdy race car guy. Mark Campbell's been on a few times to talk about fueling and why it's so important to have the right fuel system and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to have those guys. Of course, they are this racer party sponsor at the circuit, and they're bringing 2 cars to the event. So super cool there. And I want to talk about some friends that are kind of all of ours, not just Deechworks friends, but also us here at Drag Drive Repeat, and longtime racer at the circuit, Cole Beck, and the Send It Race Shop is now producing fuel pump hangers for your Amazon and eBay fuel tanks. Hang on. I'm just going to read what he said. He said, if you're putting together a drag and drive car, street and trip car, burnout car, drag car, whatever, he said, here's a fuel system setup you can check out. These fuel pump hangers fit the standard 12-bolt fuel cells, giving you the reliability of in-tank fuel pumps. They come single, dual, and triple pump setups, and they use brushless versions from Deechworks, the 440 and the 810 pumps. So these are kind of cool. They're 3D printed from carbon fiber and nylon composites. Again, Colt definitely tests the limits of everything he ever gets in. And so if he can make these work, then they definitely work on any car out there. So this will be kind of cool. I'm excited for him to lean into a little bit of this. You know, he works with SWS Motorsports with the blowers conversion stuff. So this will be another piece of the arsenal in their setup. So again, Send It Race Shop. You can find it on senditraceshop.com. You can find these, and then also search it on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. All right. So before we bring the Diehl Brothers in, I want to first apologize publicly. I'm sorry it took us so long to do this. I don't know why it took us this long to do this. These dudes are some of my favorite people, some of the hardest working dudes in all of Drag and Drive. The hour that we've kind of put into this here is not enough. I think these guys could probably fill about 6 or 7 hours worth of time just with the awesome stories they have from doing not just Drag and Drives, but just their life in general. And these guys live it to the limit all the time. So let's go ahead and bring them in. I want to put them up here in the big stage and let you guys introduce yourselves. Tell who's who, and then we're going to get into it.
Usually when I say Dave, who are you? I'm Dave. I'm Nick. I'm sure most of anybody watching this show knows us, has seen us, knows about us. There's a bunch of plowing hillbillies trying to build a race car.
You guys are awesome, man. I'll tell you, you're always a blast to see at events. It's fun. I've really been enjoying your YouTube stuff lately. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. But I got to tell you, I was digging through your Facebook. I think I was on Nick's Facebook today, trying to find some old photos. Bro, you post like I do, man. There's a lot of stuff on there. And what's really cool is like, it's not just race stuff. Like you've got, man, business stuff. You've got like family stuff. You got wrestling stuff. You've got like vacation stuff. You guys you're awesome, man. I tell you, it's really a lot of fun to watch out here. So keep it up. That's what I'm saying. Keep it up. Keep up the good.
You know, we've heard it all a million times. You only hear one time, live it to the fullest. Chase your dreams.
When are we going to start doing that
stuff? I don't know how many more hours we can find in a day, honestly.
Yeah, I think y'all need a new hobby. That's for sure. Y'all need another hobby to add to the list.
Oh, we're lucky though. We picked up over the last year. We got some guys around here helping us do a lot more stuff. I don't know if you've been watching the YouTube channel. We have Jeff with us now. He's an engineer. Actually, he worked on airplanes. He engineered parts for airplanes and so on. He's a jack of all trades. He can do carbon, he can do molds, he can do 3D, anything you think of, the dude can do it. And he's a welder and fabricator. I watched him build a jet engine and put it on a snowmobile. I'm talking about just wild off the wall stuff that you shouldn't do. He's done. So he's an asset to have here, and he's having fun with what we're doing. He's into the drifting. He's actually talking about he wants to build a drag and drive car now because he's been watching us and helping. He helped work on obviously the Better Half Camaro, and we work on quite a few drag and drive cars here at the shop. Also, as you guys have probably seen, Harley he wears many hats here too. He runs the front counter, does all the breathalyzer stuff, helps order stuff, takes phone calls, pretends to be a film guy, camera guy. He's the media guy. Oh Lord,
dude, he does a great job. Big shout out to Harley.
Getting fired up, ain't I?
You're gonna be fast for that one. You're getting kicked in the shin for calling media guy.
Yeah, he hates the media guy title. But
I'm a homie that hangs out and films video.
Yeah, he's a homie that films video. But he's the one that he came around. Me and David talked about doing a YouTube channel for years. We had people literally to come in the stores like, man, I really wish you guys would do. They'd walk around, see all stuff like, why aren't you guys showing this? You're missing a market. Like, you guys probably just do this for a living. And they're like, yeah, right. Nobody wants to watch us hack on stuff. And
whatever.
I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, you were wrong. Because, dude, you've grown to 10,000 subs in like a year, right?
Yep. But just over a year. And we're still learning our way, man. We have a hard time because I think the way we do it is how I want to do it. We show the good, the bad, the ugly. We don't try to we don't, what do you want to call it? We don't have
things, and
we don't have scripts. We just, what comes out of our mouth comes out of our mouth, and that we put it on there. We leave it like that.
I've enjoyed the last one. I watched it all this morning again, and there's like about a 3-minute window there where Dave's he's like talking to the camera. He's entertaining us at home while you guys are working in the back. I enjoyed that. I just want to say I had a good time on that video.
You found time that I wasn't the one doing the work. which is most fun. We found 3 minutes out of a whole year I wasn't doing work.
I know, dude. That's what it was great.
I took a 3-minute break. That was awesome. I pat myself on the back for that one.
What's really funny is the last 3 videos. I actually am the one that did all the editing. So it's definitely not the same quality that Harley was doing. I'm just getting back into editing. Little known fact that you guys probably don't know is that I did motorcycle stunt riding for years. I actually traveled around on rockets, and I did shows in arenas, shows at drag strips,
nice
downtown, like for parades. So me and a couple there's only 3 or 4 of us, 2 of us that usually traveled. We traveled and did shows like that. So we had videos. We used to sell CDs.
This is back when you had the hold on cameras. That's 1985
Sony Handycam. It literally was a Sony Handycam, but that process, just like anything else in life, because I did the editing back then and understand how to cut and do all that stuff, I was able to get right back into that part pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means. Blending audio and all that. I had fun doing it until yesterday. The video yesterday was an hour long, and that was a little bit of a
You have 4 hours in that one at least, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it was time.
Yeah. I didn't know you used to stunt. That's awesome, man. I used to do some wheelies and stoppies and all that kind of stuff as well.
Heck yeah, dude. Love it.
Yeah. We'll have some conversations. That's cool.
I did it in uncontrolled environments, and it cost me a license for like 6 years, so I quit.
Highway and Yep. Did a little bit of that as well. Never got in a whole lot of trouble, but we definitely got busted from times. A couple big runs down the highway. We had at one point. This is fun off the side story, but there was like 6 of us stand-ups coming down the interstate, just cruising along, just right up beside an undercover cop. That was a cool story.
No,
this big time. Like, oh, hey, bud.
So, the good news is I'm hoping you were riding the 1000 because you didn't have to outrun the cop. You just had to outrun all your friends.
At that point, I was on I had a 2000 model R6. That was what I started with.
Oh, you were the slow guy then.
I was the last wheelie.
Our opening, our intro to our video actually was 6 of us doing wheelies by the state police station while the cops were outside. And our film guy goes by and we're like, yep. So we were hoping that no cops were outside. They never chased us. I don't know if they just thought it was like these guys are just retarded.
They were like, oh, sweet.
Yeah. But that was the intro to the back when we did the video. So we were kind of dumb. I didn't get in a lot of trouble though. I never really got pulled over. So
yeah, I was always in good places where I couldn't run.
I didn't say I ever ran. I just said I never got pulled over.
That's awesome. Well, that kind of leads us into, man, tell us about y'all's early days. Like, how did you get into this? I was looking back again. Looks like you've had the orange car for a long time. Tell us this come up story.
No, it would have been after that. I came around in 2010.
What year was it that we did? No, so that's when we did the Yukon engine. It was 10 or 11.
It had probably been around 13, 14, somewhere there when we bought the black Mustang. Our first LS swap we ever did. Actually, if you don't follow my Facebook, the other day I posted Nick, like we were sitting in the shop, like had got an engine out of LKQ and put it in a 93 top or 93 Yukon.
Oh, wow.
That was like our first LS swap. And that's kind of where it all started. And next thing you know, we had an LS swap Mustang. Then we had a turbo LS swap Mustang, which was the black car. Then somehow a buddy of ours was selling the blue car. And that was before it's the blue it is now. We wound up with that. We put that one together. And then we kind of started playing around with both of them. And it just spiraled out of control pretty much.
Yeah, one time we had a Firebird, a turbocharged Camaro, the blue Mustang with the single turbo, the orange Mustang with a single turbo, the Yukon with the twin turbos, the buggy with the twin turbos.
Yeah.
And my big Duramax. Like we had all our stuff was toys that we didn't have no practical anything.
Yeah, no, there was nothing practical to take to work, nothing like that.
They was driving the twin turbo Yukon from Battle Creek to Detroit for a job up there on a daily basis. It's a trophy truck style deal. He was literally just booking it down the highway. We got rear-ended like 50 mile an hour in that thing. Mm-hmm. So
man, I wish I had grabbed that photo because it looks super cool. Like a 2-door Tahoe, full-size Blazer for everybody that doesn't know. Lifted, I mean, definitely it had the look for sure.
Oh, I still got it. That was our dad's when he passed away, and we kind of made it into that.
Wow.
And Dave took the Camaro that I rocked that Dad had, and he LS swapped that, and it's sitting in the garage now too.
That's actually we had a little warm stint like a couple weeks ago, so I finally went out to the barn at the house because it sucks to get home so late. Most of the nights I'm not going to turn the heat on out in the barn for like an hour. It just doesn't make practical sense when it's 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So we have a little worm stent. So I went out to the barn. We have a black Mustang at the house that we've got. I'm sure people have heard about. When we wrecked the car, I said, hey, I got a black Mustang at the house on the hoist with the chassis pretty much done already. We could put everything into. So I got that off the hoist. Actually put my IROC Z onto the hoist, got the trans and everything put in it and all that stuff. And then it got cold again. So I'm working on that. I'm working on that one at the house.
Oh gosh. Dude, when do you have time? You guys are always in a build to get stuff done ready for the next event. That's pretty impressive.
Well, I'm hoping here soon we're back to our ways we had there for a while where
we didn't work on things.
Yeah, the race car literally sat in a corner until we went to the race. We went and we were on a roll there for a minute. We went to 6 or 7 races in a row and won. We were racing pro mods and somehow would get lucky and make it to the finals and win. And the car was just consistent and did what it did. And one of our favorite races, to be honest with you, kind of really draw this. I think it's the pivot. You know, you have that pivotal race that kind of drew you into racing even deeper, which you don't need it, but it happens. I think it was Roadkill. Our first year that we went and did Roadkill at Motor Trend, we had such a good time. It was a really, really fun time getting to race on the streets of Woodward, Detroit, you know, Car City, where everything started, Motor City, you know, everything started there. And getting to race on the street. And it's tough. It's challenging. Yeah, they try to glue it and this and that, but you just don't concrete it's not concrete, it's asphalt.
Yes,
it doesn't
asphalt,
glue almost makes it worse. It makes it greasy. Matter of fact, if you guys want to see a cool video, it's not our video, unfortunately. Somebody else has it, but there's a YouTube video. If you put orange Mustang wrecking on Woodward, Dave went through the fence at Woodward Racefield.
What?
And worst thing is, we finally made it. We actually made it into the show, and then we couldn't do it because Dave wrecked the car.
Dang it.
Well, that was the first time Dave ever wrecked it, I guess. So I can't say again yet. But
I got a ticket. I got a ticket for that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! What?
Reckless driving ticket because he went off the course.
Oh, get out of here! What the hell?
I actually had to drive to Pontiac 3 different times to fight that ticket because they gave me a reckless driving ticket because I said once I exited the fence, I was no longer in the event. Are you serious right now?
Talk about busting chops, man.
Oh, dude, that's next level petty.
Yeah.
The cool thing though is that and then one year we took the blue car and the orange car, and I think that's when Dave took my driving privileges away because and you know this because you guys have talked about it before, to try to tune multiple cars and win races while you're doing it and focus on the suspension and all that. If I got to drive the car, there's 30, 40 minutes that you have dedicated to getting ready, getting the line, getting yourself ready, which means that's time you take away from the other cars. So we took both cars. And technically, I went faster with the blue car on Woodward that year than he went with the orange car. But
keep in mind, I just let off the button.
See, he's always going to go to that.
If it didn't go down the track or it didn't do the things it's supposed to do.
But the very following year, the very next year after we only took one car. The very next year, we were the fastest and quickest small tire car there. We got nudged out by Morgan right at the end there, which
that little
little
nemesis.
The video shows a different aspect of it. But like I said, some 12-year-old kid's the one that put the sensors down, so one lane might have been a foot or two shorter than the other.
Oh, brutal.
The video shows it. Even Morgan, he's a good dude. Mikkel looked at it. Mikkel went to jump in the car with Dave to drive back to the line because he was sure Dave won. If that don't tell you something, you know, Morgan's pretty smart dude. But anyways, we almost won that year. We were the quickest and fastest there, both lanes.
Small tire.
But then the very next year, last year, we were the fastest car in the property, first pass and every pass after. Nobody,
small or big tire.
Yeah, small or big tire. We were 2/10 faster than everybody on the property.
Still lost.
Never. Yeah, somebody slept in the tree.
Somebody's car been screwed.
But so we've had progression. So maybe this next year is finally the year for us. Now we're the fastest there. We just got to get that last round's got to go our way. So that was our pivotal. I think that's our spot where we're like, you know what, this racing thing can be exciting. We just didn't know it was going to put us in a broke house and all the other stuff that comes with it.
I'll tell you something was really cool too. Like not last year, but the year before, wasn't it? Or was they had Ice Cube down in the big parking lot.
That was
after we got done racing. They had Ice Cube concert down in Pontiac on the streets. Dude, that was awesome. Yeah, I've never been to a rap concert. I've always been to rock concerts and country concerts. Never been to a rap concert, but I love Ice Cube.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
And to be on the street there, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, streets of Detroit and stuff.
Yeah, we won't do the actual street racing. I guess people can call it what they want. We just feel like we got too much
to lose.
Yeah, so we don't do. We get invited all the time, and we can do it. I mean, we went and did test hits just to make sure the car works for like a no prep race, and we can go fast on the street. You know, the orange car we kind of got worked out. The blue car is a cheat code. I mean, I don't even count that no more. If we throw a couple pounds on the back of that thing. Actually, I took my wife when we were up there at Woodward.
Yeah.
I took my wife down the road next to the hotel and did a wheelie down the road with my wife in the blue car.
That's awesome.
That thing is just a cheat code for racing. Now, when I finally actually put it up for sale, somebody is going to make more money with it than I sell it for pretty quick because
that car just works, man.
You never know. You never want to take that. You say it's too slow.
It's too slow for me.
He said he won't take it because it's too slow.
That thing, 530 and 850. Really, I mean, that thing's a killer, and them indexes can go way faster. But I don't know. Honestly, we did a race out at Byron. Honestly, a 435 cap race, and that was really fun.
Yeah, no, there was only a couple cars that went 435, and
we want to go do a Battle of the Titans. That'd be a fun one.
Yep.
Streetcar bragging rights coming up, man. That has been on our bucket list for a while. It just always seems to conflict with something we have going on, and realistically, it kind of does too this time. But we're making it happen.
Yeah, we can't go to Carl's event because it's the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nate said there's going to be more than 500 cars on the property. Like that's insane, dude. Streetcar bragging rights is nuts.
Yeah, that thing, dude. I was looking at his map today that he had posted, like where everybody's coming from, dude. And it's like the Kalamazoo blob is huge, and Detroit blob is huge, and all the East Coast is huge, and Florida's huge, and then it's like nothing really over that way.
I know, man. A bunch of weak bastards from. I looked at. There's like 3 dots in Arkansas. Like, come on, man. I'm not one of those dots, sadly. I wish I was.
You guys ain't gonna be up there?
No. So that's the Sunday. That the 19th is our first single day drag and drive event that we're hosting.
Oh, I've seen that. Yep.
So originally it was supposed to be the 12th, and then Tulsa pushed us back because we have another big event that weekend. So I was like, oh.
Well, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, the streetcar brag. I don't. If it falls on the same time as something for me next year, I'm just gonna not do whatever the other thing is. I'm going to streetcar.
That's what we did this year. We're like, you know what? We're going to bragging nights. We've been talking about it. We're going.
The one thing that's weird this year so far at this point, we have so far skipped the idea of doing drag week for the first time.
Wow.
And it was actually, of course, this is how they get us every year where we say we're not going to do it. There's a track on the list that we wanted to knock off our list. And so, I mean, we know that they let everybody in almost every time anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm on the waiting list, so I'm sure I'm at the top of the thing because I waited until it ran out on purpose and then jumped on.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
So we're skipping that, but we're doing that in hopes that we're going to try to get into the
Rocky Mountain
race.
That was our other dude. That's been another one we've wanted to do for the last several years, and it sells out so fast we can never get in. But we got the cheat code. We were told just become a sponsor.
Yeah, we might just sponsor that event.
That's great, man. I love Rocky Mountain. I love Matt and June and the whole community out there. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the night racing too. I'm telling you.
Yes, that's how I like racing at night better.
Yeah.
And you drive during the day, so you can open the parts stores are open, and you got places open that you need to get stuff and.
Yep.
You're not stuck on the road at 2:00 in the morning trying to figure out how you're going to get a part that you don't have.
Well, last year the problem was they did it all over like in Texas and all the flat plains area. I'm like, that ain't no mountains. I want to go where the mountains are.
Yeah. I'm glad they're back. I can't wait till Bandamere comes back too, man, because they're going to be right in the middle of that.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to go. We've never raced in real altitude. I mean, we've raced with DA issues and stuff like that, and stuff. But to go race like
Carolinas and stuff, we were out there
in some real big time.
High
elevations, man. See how the car acts and how it reacts, and how much heat knocks out, how it affects spool time. I like data just like anybody else.
Yeah, the spool time I think will surprise you guys, but based on everything else, I think you guys are probably going to go faster. The air is thinner, as Adam Dory always says.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So if you make the car work, you just got to cram a little more in it.
Yeah.
Less drag.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Yeah.
Well, going kind of back to what we were talking about earlier in the early days, what was your guys' first race car?
Technically, I mean, I had cars before Dave was around, so it's kind of unfair to.
Yeah.
So I had 3rd gen Camaros, man, was my main thing. And did I have anyone you got up here? No. We do. So I had a 3rd gen Camaro I went to a track with. It was a small block Chevy. I did a lot of small block Chevy stuff, 383, 400, whatever. No turbo stuff back then. Carbureted, big cams, high compression. But I always build something and sell it, or build something and sell the engine. And then I actually built my favorite thing ever is actually K5 Blazers. So I built a bunch of those. I had a 700 horse small block K5 Blazer for the dunes with big tires.
Yeah.
Traded that off for a Firebird, a 6-speed Firebird with an LS. And that was my first LS I ever owned. And it was
That's a pretty stout car. We that's actually kind of what we started racing with.
Yeah, we took that to track.
Yeah, we took that one, and it had a 4L60 in it, and we did the old.
Oh, it had a T56 actually.
Yeah, it had a T56, and we kept breaking the T56s, couldn't keep them alive in the thing. And then put a really nice 60 in it, and did the whole like 3rd gear trans brake deal thing where you hit the button and it puts it in 3rd gear while you're on the line, then you let go of the button and it goes back to 1st gear.
Yeah, fake trans brake.
Yeah, fake trans brake. So then we raced with that for a little while. And I mean, that thing would run like, what was it, in the 11s?
It was low 11s, high 10s.
Yeah, it was a pretty fast car. And it was actually, the bad part is that car was actually built to race like road course, like all the suspension and stuff. We just never did that. I always liked that kind of stuff. But then from that's when we started building the Mustang, really, right after that.
You got that?
I went in
Chicago.
Yeah, I went over by Chicago and picked that car up for $800.
Wow.
And it was black. It was a V6 car. Wouldn't run. And got home, figured out it was the reluctor on the back of the harmonic balancer that had spun or something like that, or was wrong with it. Wanted to put a new harmonic balancer on her. Boom, fired it right up. V6 ran, ripped it around the block, come back, had the engine out a couple minutes later.
That engine
posted up for sale.
The engine's still sitting in the field. Yeah. We got it started and run. It ran. It was supposed to be a brand new remanufactured engine. The worst part, we threw it out in the field and never touched it.
Yeah, posted stuff for sale. Motor and trans, sold the trans.
Yeah,
nice.
Well, that was the birth of the orange car, which was black then, and it's been 3 different oranges now, technically.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it was Plymouth Prowler orange the first time.
Yep.
And then it was the last time Chris painted it last year, when right before Sick Week, like literally painted it and put it in the trailer. Not last year, the year before. That was like a Nissan something rather orange.
He mixed. See, what he does is he secures the fact we have to go to him to get anything fixed.
And then this time, I don't know what color pumpkin orange he chose, but it's orange.
He just mixed up some stuff and and it ends up being, speaking of the devil,
they're lucky it's not pink by now. Some rainbow color.
So that's actually how Pinky Drag Week came around, is because of that guy.
Oh, nice.
The pink. That's where the pink came from.
That's where the pink came from.
Oh, really? Wow, that's cool.
So Cal was like, "Hey, I need my car painted," and Chris gave it back to him pink.
Oh no!
Pick the color.
Yeah.
Along that line, anyways.
Yeah, that car was fast for a long time, and then is now should be even faster. I mean, that car.
I hope so. He's got
3,000 plus horse.
Yeah, that big block Ford. I mean, he gets all the stuff sorted out. Obviously, it was just here at our shop. If you watch our videos, we just did the bumper and some other stuff for him and all that for it. And
battery, gas door, CO2 mount.
Yeah, we did a bunch of little random things for him. Got that lined out while he was getting some other stuff done. And I know Baker's been hammering down on his engine, getting all that stuff on the engine dyno worked out. And
I think he switched up to a dry sump or something along that way.
Yeah, he's got a dry sump being made for it. Last time I talked to him, and then obviously they talked about it earlier.
Yep.
So
it's gonna be, that car's gonna be badass. I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Still ain't gonna outrun us. That's all that matters.
You're gonna be mad.
all that cubic inch and all that turbo is still gonna have to get outran by a small block and an LS at that, because I know how much he loves LSs.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, what's your current fleet of project cars that you guys got?
Obviously, we're finishing to getting the orange car back together. We had to change the K member out to a stiletto style rack or K member.
We went to an Outlaw K member that moved everything forward of the oil pan. Because I'm going to tell you, 4 hours to pull a K member to get the oil pan off is a no-go. I'm not doing that anymore. That was the most horrendous week of my life. My back was raw for like a month.
Well, then you guys, it was a good cameo, or the way you guys brought the whole oil guy on, because we're switching from a standard oil pan deal that was a 7-quart deal to a 12-quart. It's still wet sump, but we took all the dry sump technology with separators and dividers and screens and all the stuff that you would have in a dry sump, and incorporated that in our wet sump now. So we can hold 12 quarts. It separates the air. It has chambers. It scavenges out of it, because we don't have somewhere to put a tank without rebuilding the car again, and I don't feel like doing that right now.
No, you guys definitely have. There's 5 pounds of stuff in there for sure, or 10 pounds of stuff in there.
Yeah. So then, well, I guess our game plan right now is pretty much, we got, as soon as this is back together, everything goes good down at Bragging Rights. We got the blue car. Got it tore apart because we actually were working on converting it over to twins, to some real small twins. We actually built a new engine for that. Got a really, really nice engine in that thing now.
Interesting.
It's a 5.3 now instead of a 4.8. Things pretty stout. But we wanted that turbo. The turbo that was on it was only good for about 1,200-ish.
We were running out of that,
and that was tapped out. So we wanted, the engine in right now, we could probably make about 18 on. So we want to make a nice set of twins at a spool quick that can make 18. And we're going to get that car back together, and we'll probably under some local 530 stuff or stuff like that, play around and just have some fun with that car. And the ultimate game plan, really, the car just collects dust. We'd like to get it to somebody's hands that can use it and have fun with it. That's going to be the ultimate plan. We have the black char. The game plan with that one pretty much is we have an engine here for it. We don't technically have a trans. Well,
trans and housing, rear end housings are 2 things we're missing.
Yeah, we have everything pretty much to build that car, but the trans and the rear end right now. So that car we're probably going to try to get together. I don't know. I might put it together as a roller or shell. I kind of posted it up for sale a while back. Had some interest, but I hadn't been able to get to the shop. I want to finish the last 5 bars that's got to go in the thing and to get it sorted, and then sell it.
And more than likely, it'll end up getting a motor trans and getting a fuel tech thrown in it and be a running driving car. Because it seems to me that if you make them run and drive, they seem to sell a little easier because people, they're turnkey, they can go do it. But in the process, every step of the way, it'll be for sale. We'll just keep changing the price as we go.
Right? They're like, wait, this was way cheaper last time. Well, yeah, it didn't have a motor and trans and run.
Oh yeah, we got a 22 to 2,500 horse engine that's super light lined up for it. So it's supposed to be that whole build was originally built to be a
straight up no prep car. Like we wanted to go back a track, no prep stuff, and go fast. If we can be fast in our car that's built for a radial on a no prep, what can we do with a car that's built for no prep?
Oh man, that
was kind of
I can figure it out. That's you guys.
Yeah, so that was the theory, and then ultimately, maybe 100 years down the road from now, if I ever find some time, I did pick up a 67 Nova that I have stuffed away in the corner of my barn. It was really a really great deal because I got the whole car, the floor pans and everything had already been cut out of it, so it saved me a bunch of work.
Yeah.
And I picked that car up over in Detroit a couple years ago, and it's just kind of been sitting in the side of the barn. But I want to build a Pro Mod chassis 25-1 big block twin turbo car because after being with Steve and watching a big block go 16 pounds of boost, and run pretty much 6s on less than 20 pounds of boost, I'm like, okay, that's the easy button. Yeah. Y'all suck.
Yeah. Yeah. How many pounds of boost are you running in the orange converted to run your time?
So last year, with our other Dart engine that we had, we never ran over 37 pounds.
Golly, that's a bunch.
So we were relatively low, honestly, compared to what that engine can do. But at 37 pounds, we raced an entire season. And the only time the valve covers came off all season long was right before 6th summer, just to do a good health check of the valve train real quick. I found one broken little clip on my CHW trunnion kit. One of the little clips that hold the thing on was broken. Just the little part where you put your pliers in was broke off. So I'm like, oh, there it is. And the engine took the magnet, got it out, pulled that rocker off, slapped a rocker on it. And that's literally all the maintenance that got done on that car for the whole season.
And I only used 3 or 4 sets of plugs the whole season because it was we already had it so dialed, we just didn't need to do much. When we run,
that's all pretty dialed in with that motor combo. We realistically, all we would really ever do is change our boost ramps and stuff. We were out at a drag week or something like that. We'd slow our boost ramp down and we'd run 450s area. If we were at a 28 class race where we needed to go faster, we'd bring the boost ramp in faster and go 430s. But we never really changed the boost much. We just kind of changed how it was coming in.
I think we talked about it. We had almost 200 passes last year between all the different races, and we had
4 or 5,000 miles.
4,000 or 5,000 miles, and we had two. We run maximum oil. We had about 2 oil changes on it, maybe 3.
I changed it after every drag and drive.
So we had three oil. So that's the maintenance we had. It's about 3 sets of plugs, 3 oil changes.
Trans fluid, honestly, probably
trans fluid. Yeah, trans fluid. We were rough on.
Man,
we changed some stuff on that now. But that's the upgrade now. Going from that Dart engine is great. We still had about 500 horse left in it to put pushing it wise. And now with the SML though is like the dream engine for us because
sky's the limit at the end of the day.
The reason
we get it sorted out.
Yeah, the reason we got bigger. We got a set of twins that guys run on a 600 cubic inch big block. Like they're They're
twin 88s.
Yeah, they're twin.
It's a big set of twins for a 400 cubic inch engine.
Yeah, so we plan on finding. Our goal is to find a limit. Like what can that little motor really make? Like I want to know. We know that we know there's guys that made 3,500 on a LS platform. Can we make 4? Can we find a way to get enough air squeezed through that motor to make 4,000 horse? I mean, it's not going to happen right away. But I tell you, we made 2,400 horse at the wheels on like 27 pounds at up at speed.
Jeez.
So it's not the same though. 27 pounds with those twins isn't the same as 27 pounds with that big single.
Well, right.
That's a lot of CFM air.
Lots of CFM. Yeah. I love it when people do that about the boost. Like, oh, what PSI boost are you running? And you're like, well, actually, it's only 27 pounds, but it's twin 88 millimeter turbos.
It is funny, man. Like, it kind of on subject, off subject here is like, oh man, how much boost that thing running? Oh, 30 pounds. Oh, just 30 pounds. Like, dude, 30 pounds from that set of turbos ain't 30 pounds from a 76. It's a whole different world.
Your GT 76 out of Summit's catalog, which is, I mean, he made 1,200 horse on a pair of 60 whatever they were, 72s.
Wow.
Chris.
Oh, no, he had out of the box 366s.
Yeah.
When he did his stuff.
But, that definitely isn't the same. Like the blue car will blow your mind now with the new engine. Even with a really small, it's a bullseye turbo, so it's very, very efficient. But the blue car runs 850s. Or no, it runs 530s on 12 pounds of dome, 18 pounds of boost.
Yeah.
Come on.
So it does it like I had to start pulling timing because you can't run boost less than that. So I had to start really getting after it. I left the hit alone because I like the car to leave like it leaves because it just leaves good.
You can just dump it
after the hit. No, I left the boost alone. After the hit, I had 10 degrees out of it at one point to get it to run to 530s. Which is just nuts. It doesn't even make sense. But they put this engine together and it's just uber efficient, and the turbo's efficient in that area. Like no back pressure. That's why I wanted to do twins on it. I'm like, dude, this thing is making some steam. If we can get some air in this thing, we can really. I bet you that car will. I wouldn't be surprised if it ran 750s pretty easy. Let's put it that way.
Gosh, that's
which I might. Me and Dave kind of.
We can add the funny car cage to it.
Everything else is already there.
Everything else is already there.
So it might happen because then somebody might be more apt to buy it, And I don't know if you guys seen, but we were on Luke and Tom and all the guys that's sick for the last 2-3 years. That we felt like drag and drive is missing the 750 class.
Well, for a long time, Super Street was kind of that 750. Like there was no cars really running quicker than that in Super Street.
Yeah, but times change. So do the.
Yeah.
Our advocate with them is they got 2 850 classes. Get it, bump them together because it's an index class anyways.
Yeah.
Get a 750 class so the guys that are limited to the 750 cage have somewhere to go. Because right now I know a bunch of guys that don't have chromoly cages, so they can't go faster than 750. Literally, they don't even want to do drag and drives now because there's nowhere they fit in. There's just nowhere they can be competitive.
Yeah, they don't want to slow their car down to an 850, but they also don't want to jump in like Super Street and try to run. I mean, you got look how many cars in Super Street now are in the 6s.
Oh yeah,
or what I say, that's 6 seconds capable. Like I mean,
we're the only one
the Nova
did it so far.
The Nova that was down there.
Right.
You got. I'm terrible with names, so everybody forgive me. But you got the one dude's.
Well, you got Doug that was about to be in the 6.
You got Doug Cook.
You got
now he'll have to jump up though because he just changed his rear suspension.
Richard
Flint, that car, man, he gets that thing lined. That car,
it's gonna go 680,
670 capable car all day when he gets everything lined out.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
Chris Mary says, yeah, David and Nick ruined Super Street.
yeah, that's my fault. That's the way he would look at it, I'm sure.
It doesn't matter. He's got an 850s car anyways, and he said he don't want to go faster than that. So
yeah.
You don't
Well, that's until he does it for like 2 seasons, and then he'll be like, "Oh man,
that's what I say." You know the drill.
This one thing.
You know the drill.
Here's the thing. He's got an engine that's capable of doing 750s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. You guys were talking about the power levels in one of the videos. I was like, "Holy shit!" Hang on. Let's do a quick ad read. Again, big shout out to Diehl Works. 10% discount on that using code DDR10. And then Performer built transmissions. You guys were talking about 4L60s earlier in the show. Awesome. I mean, these guys are badass. So, Eric, I'll let you do the ad read there.
All right. Performer Built is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performer Built Transmissions, their goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performer Built doesn't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and achieve highest levels of performance. That is why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are performa-built. So first question as we kind of jump into this segment here is, what was your guys' first drag and drive event?
Was it Midwest Drags?
Drag Week. No. Sick Week. The first Sick Week ever was our first event ever. In a blue car.
Wow. And then we did Midwest Drags after that.
And that's when we had the screw come out and we thought we blew our engine up.
Yeah. I just ran that thing with a screw. Well, we found a couple wiggled rods anyways, but you know.
Well, so our first one was Sick Week. We did finish it. We never did a drag and drive before. We drove all the way to Florida to figure out how to do a drag and drive. We literally knew nothing about them at that point. I mean, we knew we wanted to do drag week the year before and we didn't get done in time because it was at 131. Mm-hmm. I think it bit us, the bug definitely. Now our problem is that we did every Sick Week. And how do you not do a Sick Week if you've done every Sick Week? Like, do you want to break that trend? Because we can be that guy they're talking about 20 years from now that did every single one. Like, I don't know if that's a stupid thing to care about. It probably is.
Oh, dude, I love it. You kidding me? It's awesome.
No, we do stupid things. We got a guitar. We got a helmet. Now we can move on. Technically,
I'll be honest. You know, like Sick Week for me feels like a glorified test session because we go down there and suck every year.
We do. We do.
Now listen, you guys have thrash before Sick Week all the time. At least the last 2 years, you've had a big thrash before.
That's been every year. I don't think we've ever had a car like last year. This last year, had we not wrecked the car, was the first year we were 100%. We had some upgrades we we're going to do, but the car wasn't going to really make a bunch of changes, and we were good to go. Like it would have been, and that's okay. Things happen for a reason, and hopefully at the end of this season, the car's worked out. We know everything about it. Hopefully we're going to do it. Here's the other thing. I will say this to kind of caveat into this, just so everybody knows. The first person that breaks our record in Super Street, we will put our dart block back in and come back. Well, so that is a challenge to anybody. We would love to see somebody break the average for us so that we have a reason to put the other engine in and come back. But until then, we're going to go try to race hell in modified.
Yeah, it's sitting literally right next to my toolbox over here, just tucked off to the side, ready to roll.
That's awesome.
We have some upgrades for that too, though. So
yeah,
so we had some things for that when it does go back because we kept everything where we can swap back and forth because there's some races for some reason they look down on you if you have a billet engine. And I don't know how, because, man, when you look under a hood with a billet engine, it's just so pretty.
It looks so nice.
It is.
It looks so nice. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know if you guys had done one before then, but looking, I didn't get a chance to really go through and dig through all the historical stuff for you. But that's pretty interesting. Sick Week really kind of kicked off a bunch of people's, drag and drive careers, I would almost say. I mean, you guys have done, how many events have you done since then, you think?
We do a minimum of 3 a year.
I think we're at 14 drag and drives right now.
God, dude, that's so badass.
We didn't finish 2 of the 14. Midwest Drags was our second drag and drive anywhere.
We didn't finish 3. We have 3 now. We didn't finish.
Oh yeah, because you wrecked the car.
We didn't finish Midwest Drags.
I forgot he wrecked the car.
We bowed out when we didn't know what was wrong. And then the 6 summer previous years, we
3 years ago.
Yeah, we were actually in 3rd place in quarantine, and
Dave didn't want to check the oil because he said, "Does it got oil pressure?" I said, "It's got oil pressure." He said, "It's got oil." Guess what? It didn't have
oil pressure down the track.
Damn it.
That was a good engine too.
Yeah, that 408 had been all through things, man. That thing was.
And here's the worst part: that 60 foot was on it. Like we were moving up a spot. We were moving up a spot that day until we wasn't.
Yeah, that was. So that we didn't finish on that one because we blew an engine up, and we talked about trying to scramble and grab an engine, but we started looking at things, and there was a fire when the engine blew, and their steering rack was damaged. There was some wire that was damaged. There was holes out the oil pan. Like it was going to be too much to try to figure out how to scramble something back together.
But I guess if you do the nutrition rate, and we done 14 and failed at 3, I mean we've done all right.
There's probably several more we should have
done pretty good, especially at the level you guys are running at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You go look at our averages, it definitely you can see the steps. I've seen you do shows before where you guys talked about like they started here, did this, and progressively. And I feel like that just is, I don't want to say natural progression for everybody because like there's some people that are happy where they're at. Like the 850 guy, I think that's a challenging class.
That's difficult.
It's hard to run those. That's why I enjoy doing it when Chris would take our car or somebody would take our car. I had fun with it because like I know the car is going to run. I mean, out of the 3 times I think Chris took it, he placed every time he went, right?
Yeah, he did like second at drag week, did second again at drag week, and then he did first at six summer.
Yeah, 6 summer. So every time we got the car out to run a class with like him driving it, that he kind of knows the car. The car's been competitive. And then we've been to several 530 classes with it, where our car was the tightest on the 530, and something would happen, and we just didn't get that.
No, we also had several 530s.
Oh, we won 530. I'm talking about other people driving the car.
Oh man, when Harley drove it last year, man, that was some of the tightest racing I've seen
ever, dude.
He lost his combined average. He lost with between 2 races and 2 different classes was just a couple hundreds.
0.0002.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Wow. That was not 1 lap. That's for 2 laps combined. How much he lost?
Oh my!
Yeah, so he is. If there's one person in the world that's in love with racing more than anything in life, it's Harley. So yeah. And I think honestly, the car, if we keep the car around, well, we're going to keep it around till we sell it. We just had that conversation. It's like he's good at cutting a light. He likes driving the car. He don't mind working on it. We'll probably keep him in the driver's seat so that I can do what I do and Dave can be in the fast car. And
trying to have Nick and I handle 2 cars. We've taken 2 cars to race where we're driving the cars. I'm driving both cars, or he drives one, I drive one. It just doesn't work. There's too much going on. Especially like, the caliber car, the orange car is, like coming back from rounds. And now we're going to have, two chutes to pack, doing this, doing that. Now we did make some changes that are going to make things a little easier, like fuel and stuff. I can just splash fuel in the front. Boom, I'm done. I ain't got to pull the trunk lid off, do a bunch of stuff back there. So it's going to speed things up.
That'll help a bunch. Well, hey, tell us about I would say your best performance at an event. Like which one did you go the fastest? Where's that at?
I'd say 6 Summer was probably our absolute best performance. That was almost a flawless week.
Yeah, we didn't touch the car. Like we didn't do
nothing. Out there. We came off of we went out there. Well, once again, that was when we blew the intake and everything off, like 2 days before we left testing. We go out there. We enter that 435 class and class. Yep. I've never red lit. Ever. I've never red lit ever.
Oh.
I went negative 004.
Ooh.
In the finals.
In the finals.
For 10,000. Of
course.
And I definitely won that. Had I cut my typical light is usually 0.12, 0.1 or 0.01, 0.02, 0.013, 0.012 areas. Like that's where I hang out. I'm really consistent there. I know my car really well.
That's pretty awesome.
That's where I hang out. So like we were always stock block guys. We didn't have the fast engines and stuff like that. We had to learn how to have good reaction times in 60 foots and get power and quick because we had a stock block forever. We were
no money for good stuff.
But so like I learned to be fast. We learned to be fast other ways. That's everything that we did was that. So we go out to these races, like
we're getting off the rails. They're trying to
get anyway. So we right before that we lost that race. We come into 6 Summer. And just we
won the streetcar.
We won the streetcar class.
Lost in the finals.
Lost in the finals to a red light, but still coming off a good day before, weekend before. Got good testing in. Got really comfortable with the car. Was happy with the car. Pretty much one and done all day. The track that has always kicked our butt. We got down the second time.
We're the first car to go down.
We were actually the first car to make a 6-second pass all day against. I mean, we're talking
Alex
Taylor, Steve Morris, Goldstone. Goldstone had just come off a massive win out at Rocky Mountain.
Yep.
We felt good being the first ones leaving for once every day. Like it was, you guys don't even know, dude. I mean, we usually show to the hotels at 3, 4 in the morning, get a couple hours sleeping on the road. Like to show up and be able to have a dinner and go to sleep and take showers and like I wash some laundry. Like what? That sounds like the stupidest thing to be excited about. Like, but to have the time to do those things and not have to, like, hey, what do we have to do to the car? None. Do you think we should unbolt it? Yeah, I'll look at the Heinz when I'm down there. Okay. Does it got oil? Yep, I checked. We check oil now, by the way. If I say check the oil, I swear to you, the dude's already got a rag in his hand. Like we ain't gonna. We're checking oil. But no, I think he's right though. I think that week was really good. There's another week we had good though. We won Streetcar Takeover with our orange car. One took second place with the blue car with Chris driving, which you should have been first.
And then that was the year before because then we left there and went straight to 6 Summer.
We literally left that parking lot.
Chris took first in at 6 Summer.
Yep, and we took second in Super Street.
And we took second behind Doug.
Yep. So that was another good. So we've had the summer ones. We seem to be by then we have it figured out.
Well, like I said, sick week is our glorified test session to getting our cars worked out.
To get it ready for 6
A
hours.
wallet tester is what it is to see how much money you have if it's poking it. Because when you get back, anything we do have left goes into figuring out the stuff we need to fix.
Yeah.
Well, what about your favorite event or most fun event? Is it one of those that you just described, or is it a different one?
That was a really tough one. I really do enjoy 6 Summer. I enjoy the area. I enjoy the tracks all but one. I enjoy the people, man. You'll never see a crowd. What track is that, man?
Great Lakes.
Great Lakes, dude. I've never seen so many people, dude. Like coming down that return road.
They were
the crowd out there. Woo! Like people reaching out trying to get. Dude, it's just, dude. There's so much energy out there. Like when you're driving along your routes, dude. People just standing out there. Hundreds of people on the sides of the road watching. I've never experienced anything like that, and it's a surreal experience to go do that event. And anybody that hasn't done that event, honestly, you should really try to get an event, or even just do Ward and follow along at very worst. Because even in Ward, it's an awesome experience.
I'm thinking, to me, I still have to say, honestly, for me as a tuner, and this is going to sound weird, I still think roadkill because it's such a hard surface, and I like the challenge. Yeah. And to be 2 years in a row to be the fastest, quickest small tire and fastest overall down a street. And the year before was actually on their track, racetrack there at
man, that was tough.
That's even tougher because they only let them sweep it. They couldn't rotate, drag, do nothing on that.
No glue, no nothing. And we were racing down bare.
And you have to be on a DOT tire. Period. That's great. No ifs, ands, or buts.
So we're running 275s down basically bare. Like if we went out here on the road and put a 275 Pro on this thing and made hits down the dang road.
Yeah, so I think that for me as a tuner, the no prep stuff that we've done and the Woodward stuff it's just it sounds like counterintuitive because I want to win races, but I like the challenge of being fast on a surface that's tough to read. Our wins on the wins that we have up here on the no prep stuff is probably some of my favorite wins, to be honest. The blue car we got a couple of no prep wins with. That's some of my favorite stuff to do.
It's a good time. I like the challenge of being a driver in it. You know, it's radial racing. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got a lot of G's to deal with and stuff like that, and things are happening really, really, really fast, especially at our caliber. And it is. I'm not going to say it's easy to drive, but honestly, like once we have our car sorted out, for the most part, man, when I always joke around saying I just let off the button. It's kind of like my catchphrase. And I mean, realistically, man, you can watch some of my passes in the GoPro. Like I literally let off the button. And I just, man, I don't even move my hands. Like the car just straight as an arrow down the track. It shifts, does its thing, parachute deploys. And I didn't do a dang thing but let off the button.
Yeah, everything's automated in the car pretty much at this point. So he doesn't even have to hit. I got it to the point where we don't even have buttons to hit the stage, none of that stuff. Like when he drives up to the lanes, does his burnout, pulls up to the light, does it, and the car, the fuel tech and how I got everything pro, it just does everything for him.
Man, that's awesome.
We do that because we see so many drivers forget to do this or forget to do that or forget to turn the CO2 on.
Forget to put in race mode and then burnout mode. People doing all these things.
Water pump's not on.
Water pump ain't on. It overheated. We got a computer that can control all this. Why not utilize it?
And that's one of the things I don't know. We kind of
eliminate human error.
Passed this earlier, but one of the coolest upgrades too, and I don't know if we talked about it much. One of the coolest things going back to the fuel tank. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but our car, we made everything really modular this time around. So in about 20 minutes, the front clip comes off, the radiator, oil cooler, trans cooler, all the pumps all come out. Everything dry breaks in. You don't have to on. Literally, you got pins you pull for everything. Everything dry breaks and clips in. The rear tank comes out of it. We pull 150 pounds out of the car between the seat belt, and the stuff I just told you, almost 200 pounds, to do like a radial race. And then the cool part is that stuff will all go on a cart. When you pull the car back from a race, you can literally plug your oil cooler in, your trans cooler, and your water pump in, hook it to your 110. The pumps circulate, cool everything out. You dry brake everything back, and you go back to the racing lane. So that was one of the things when we built the car. We made it so that when we go race, guys like Bill Lutz and these fast 275 guys that we run into at some of the races, that we're not 1,000 pounds heavier than them anymore. At least we're in the realm with them now.
Dude, that's badass. Wow. That's badass. All right. Well, tell us, what's the plan? Streetcar bragging rights coming up. You got 3 weeks until you leave. Taking 4 cars. I watched some of the video this morning, and then before the show, David walked us out to the shop, and Chris's car is pulled down more. There's the turbos aren't on it right now, or the cold side isn't on it right now. What the heck?
Well, we got
to be welded up and made.
Everything's got a pretty long list. So the quick of it is our car. Technically, you giving us this extra hour, we got a bunch done, and I'm going to fire it up here. Hopefully, after I get off this with you guys tonight before we leave, that puts us in a good spot. We still got to build a containment tray, and I got to do some wiring. So, and then we're going to Steve's on Saturday to take the car up, put it on dyno again. We probably need to get past that 2,400 horse area where we're going to streetcar bragging right. We're going to need the whole 3,500 or better. So we need to make sure we're ready for that. So that's where we're at on our car. Chris's car needs everything. Yeah. It starts and runs, but we still have to test the 2-step. We still have to do the cold side. He's putting sensors in it as we speak. We still got to set suspension. We still got to corner balance it. We got to set shock settings and kind of figure it out.
Set ride heights. Like there's a lot to do. His drive shaft is supposed to ship Friday.
No, it'll say, dude, if there's anybody, Gulf Coast Drive Shaft's going to have us a brand new carbon drive shaft by Friday. Not ordered it today. Wow. So they're awesome. The red and white Chevy, Aaron's truck that does all the Dragon drives, one of the coolest dudes you ever meet. We did a bunch of trans upgrades because he wants to be consistent, and the 4L80 was being a little crazy on the bump and consistency, as you guys probably have heard from hundreds of people. So John Capizzi went through and did billet everything with this Pro Series, whatever, a whole bunch of stuff. We're putting we're putting a Sear Fab 2,500 horse water to air off of it instead of the tick. And a couple adjustments to the water box, and he's going to run he can run heavyweight, he can run the streetcar DYO stuff, he can run, I don't know what he's running, but he's going to run something.
That's one of my favorite trucks.
This right behind us, he's going to run the 950 class, and that's got the little four banger in it, and his runs, it drives, it's been on dyno once.
It ran. It doesn't run now.
Well, it did run.
He had to get towed back to the shop today out test driving.
I think his fuel pump went out. Gotcha. I don't know if he confirmed it or not, but what the heck was that?
That was a horn. He was honking the horn.
Oh, got it.
Sounded like an Iuga.
Anyway, so it was weird. Right? Anyway, so his car was running and ready to go. It's going back to Tyler Hastings. You go on a dyno there because it's all-wheel drive. We can't put it on a dyno here. If his car does good on a dyno, I feel pretty confident in it. We've been 950s with it before already without the upgrades. So it's still, there's nobody's just like going with a good, like a Jay and Brian that already have it worked out and know their car that are going up. Like we're all going blind, but the good thing with us is we don't have an index, so we can go too fast, but there's no such thing. So
I'll say we are in our cars in 2 classes.
Yeah,
we are. To say step it up even worse. We are running 2 classes, the Extreme 28s or whatever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the streetcar brag and rights class as well.
The street class.
Shootout class. Yeah. So we're running both. I had suggested maybe slowing the car down for the one class. So I ain't got to do retarded fast passes every pass.
Dave doesn't want to feel this 230, 240 mile an hour.
I think incrementals are great. I've been a lot of 208s, but now we're talking like 228s. That extra 20 mile an hour.
That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
We're going to have to turn the screws to it for sure.
Yeah, going down there to compete with the guys you're going to have.
Honestly, we're going to be going down there early to we're going to go down early, get some testing in, and just try to make sure everything, get the car lined out.
Nice.
We're hoping for a test session. Our track up here at 131, obviously we got 131 right here. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Great track to test at because we can get all the bugs worked out. Even if you're off on a suspension tune-up, you can use your data to make adjustments because you're still going to go down most of the time.
Yeah, Samuel's he's one of the baddest dudes that's out there. I mean,
I would argue to say the baddest. That dude can smell the track, lick the track, kiss it, and then tell you exactly what mixture it needs. Go do it, and then you'd be lucky if you could. I don't care how tight you tie your shoes. You'll leave the sole. I took the soles off my like my Under Armour shoe. I told him he owed me shoes, dude. Like, there's no reason for a track to be that tight. But you can literally have everything wrong and rotate earth on that track. But I've had people be like, well, you need to go somewhere the surface is bad to get figured out. Absolutely not. You go there, I get my shocks dialed in, I see what all the suspension is doing where everything's perfect, and then it's easy for me to go the other direction. Like, I know that I got to loosen it up from there. I know I got to take power out of the hit, whatever. I know what the max is. It's easy to find the minimum. If you don't know where the max is and you're in the middle somewhere, if the car doesn't move 2 foot, you can't get nothing out of that. It's hard to make the car work.
Yeah, you're shooting in the dark. You ain't got shock data to work with and know if you need to loosen it up, tighten it up. You don't know what you're working with, tire data.
No.
You guys were talking about tire pressures and stuff like that and gauges and stuff. Like, it is impressive, like when you start getting to the higher level, how a quarter to half pound of air like literally changes whether you're going down the track or not.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
I watched John Capizzi, like he's been sub, 1.0s in his car on Slim Shady.
He's been 937 now, I think, or something like that.
And literally, he'll literally make a quarter pound air adjustment, and his car will not go down. And then I'll go, I need to bump the tire up a quarter pound, and boom, right down the track. I'm like, dude, it's a quarter pound of air.
And right. It's the tire again, So, but yeah, no, that's definitely the importance of the little incrementals. I got. If I open up, matter of fact, the laptop you guys are on is the one for our car. And if I was to jump in there and open up the files for our orange car, every engine combo, every surface, every temperature,
every track, and then we have folders for every track.
Yep. So the cool part is that in Fuel Tech, it's one of my favorite features, and I don't know why other ECUs haven't copied it. So if you save a data log from a pass, I can, no matter what, I can always go to that data log and open the tune from that data log. So you don't have to just go look at the data log, try to figure out what you did. You literally can open the tune from that data log. And that's why from over the years doing roadkill, I know the chassis setup. As long as I got the chassis set up, I can go find the tune up where I was, figure out what I want to do for this day, this temperature. But I have data that I can work with. So hopefully it translates in with the new engine because it makes, a lot more power, but I think relative to the chassis, we should be able to still get the car figured out and have good data for that thing.
I know the chassis felt really good down at Sick Week. I was super happy. The car was super straight just with our first initial settings. Like there's zero car 11660 right pretty much right off.
Yeah, 11663 to the 330, and he let out at 2.5. So. And that was consistent every pass. We just never got past there because the fueling was so far off.
1-2 shift.
We never got to dial everything in. So when it would shift into it wasn't even the tune's fault. Technically, it was the transmission was too tight. So it was dropping like 1,500 on the shifts into a fuel area that wasn't touched ever before because, we
shouldn't be dropping that far,
Yeah. So it was adding 8% here because obviously new combo, it ain't dialed. It's adding 8% here. Well, when it dropped that 1,500, it was 20% too rich already. So it was, and we're not going to keep on the gas when the car makes weird noises and acts weird on a new hit.
I'll bail out.
Yeah.
So, but that just proved to us, though. I mean, that was on. Like when I say nothing, guys, like the car, I was laughing. I was laughing like a little schoolgirl when I seen 11660 and seen it went 3.0, and I'm like, we literally left on. It shouldn't have went nowhere near that. And I'm like, this is going to be wild. This is going to be, I think I had 20 pounds on a dome. It made 18 pounds of boost or something like that because I never got a chance to even get there. I had a 1.5 second ramp. I had timing out of it. I had low on the hit. Like, this is going to be fun. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
One of our goals has always been at some point to be like in the 102, 103, if not faster, 60 foots. Like, so I think our goal this year is to see how far we can drive the 60 foot down. And I'd like to see it 260, 330. And everything else I don't even care about. The rest of the stuff, if you do that stuff, everything's easy. So,
wow, dude, that's insane. That is insane. Out of a,
he's just really high
wheelbase. Yeah.
Factory suspension, factory wheelbase, factory firewall, floor pans, factory dash, factory. It's got a lot of factory stuff still.
God,
glass,
that's crazy.
All the glasses. Our car doesn't have
glass.
a piece
Yeah,
of
we
glass
only got optic armor, and it's all factory glass.
Shit, that's crazy. All right, hang on. Let's wrap this up. Performability, Ryan. I mean, dude, they put a 4L60 in the sevens. I don't have to say anything else about how badass Performability Transmissions is. Let me jump over here. We got one more segment that I want to talk about. And we'll talk about the shop and stuff. So AFCO Racing Products, racers know when you want performance that wins, you want AFCO. From shocks and suspension to cooling and brakes, AFCO Racing has been helping teams go faster for over 30 years. Built by racers for racers. Check out the AFCO Advantage and follow them today on all social media for the latest in performance parts. AFCO Racing, built to win. All right.
Well, I got a cameo that AFCO is our guys, man. That's Rex and them guys over there at AFCO have been game changers, dude. They are just an amazing group of guys to deal with. I was so happy to see you guys having them as a sponsor because they are about that drag and drive life, man. They are on board. Dude. They love it. I'm going back to the 6th summer where we did really good. We actually had a bad set of shocks on the car. I had to adjust everything to make it work and get by. As soon as we got back, we talked to Rex, and they were able to put together, the baddest set of 4-way shocks ever made, I swear to you. In the car, it was nice.
What's crazy is, like all our racing previous to that, we just been on a set of out-of-the-box AFCO Big Gun X's.
Wow.
Out of the box. We've been 107. We were consistent 107, 60 foots with our car.
At 3,000 pounds.
At 3,000 pounds with a set of AFCO Big Gun X's.
Yep. So shout out to them guys since how you guys, sponsored stuff. They got a little extra there.
It's funny. Performability, so several years ago, I built the transmission in my Trailblazer, and I'm not a transmission builder by any means. But I was watching a bunch of Ryan Snyder's videos on YouTube. He's awesome. Transmission together. Still on the Trailblazer. I had a supercharger and everything on this thing, and it's still just clicking away, no problems.
Yep, I remember you watching those videos. It's kind of awesome.
How cool.
All right, so what was the segment? I'm sorry, we got distracted here again.
Eric, do you need to go ahead and bounce?
Yeah, real quick, I gotta go because I gotta help kid with a homework for a test tomorrow. So definitely appreciate you guys jumping on, and wish I could stay on, but I gotta run.
Oh, we get it, dude.
Yeah, have a good night. Homework done. That's important, baby. I'm on my kids right now, looking at my daughter's grades today. She's about to be grounded.
Yep, that's why I'm helping right now.
Yep.
All right,
buddy. Have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
All right, so I want to talk in this segment. I want to talk about the shop stuff because for folks that don't know, you guys have not only, do you build cool shit for yourselves, which is what we talked about for the last hour, but you guys also run two. I say two shops. It's really one shop with two sides. So tell us about Autodynamics and how long it's been, and how that got started, and what a typical day looks like for you guys there.
So we actually do have two locations, and one's different, very different from the other. I started with Autodynamics in 1998. It was just a stereo shop. Yep. So
it was actually Audio Dynamics.
It was Audio Dynamics, and they did just stereos. I was actually a cook at a restaurant at the time. I went in there just helping out here and there. And there was like 6 guys working for this little stereo shop. And shoot, it was only about a week or two of me helping out, just doing it for free just because I like the stuff. And I pretty much worked circles around everybody there. The guy that owned it fired 3 of them, took me on. And kind of the rest is history. I ended up taking over.
It was 2008?
2006. Me and a buddy went ahead and bought it out from the guy or this or that or whatever. Obviously, I was a mechanic and worked on engines and stuff too, so I kind of wanted to blend it. I changed it from Audio Dynamics to Auto Dynamics. The little shop that I'm at every day that I don't do any mechanic stuff there. I do 12 volts. So radios, remote starts, video camera systems, just car stuff like that. And we also do breathalyzers for the state, probation officers, judges. So we put breathalyzers in cars and the ones the probation officer give you. So we have a drive-up window. I do that stuff. So I run that shop by myself. My son is slowly coming in and kind of taking the reins a little bit to help me get back over here. Nice. Dave does have two, we'll call it three sides to his shop. He has the storefront that has race car parts and car audio. The shop, the bays behind us is what we call our clean side. It's
12 volt side.
12 volt side. It has all the stereo stuff. He does the breathalyzer stuff. We do some work on cars over here that more electrical related clean work. The other side is about 10,000 square foot, and it's got 5 or 6 hoists.
Yeah.
Our metal fabrication area, a frame table, and we pretty much over there we do everything from fabbing up frames. We do a lot of, I don't say a lot. We are very choosy on what big chassis work we take, but we do cages, and I don't know if you know Brian Crane, the stick shift guy, drag and drive guy. We just got done doing his 25.2, 25.5, 25.3, 25.3. I knew it was something along the lines. 2.3. So, and then we just got done with Sonny Backman. I don't know if you've seen the C10 or C10. Yeah, C10 that we're working on. We just got done doing a 25.4. On that for a drag and drive guy. So we pick and choose which ones do we do, but we can do that stuff here. And
hot side, cold side, all that stuff. Obviously,
turbo kits.
Build. I got a mound of engines back here I need to get built. And I got 2 more down at the machine shop right now. I got 3 or 4 here I need to get assembled. I got 2 more at the machine shop.
We have an engine build area too. I guess actually we have a trans build area and an engine build area. We just don't do trans. And
so it's all engine build now.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
we try not to do much of even that now because it's just too much.
I'm trying to manage the shop. We got regular mechanic work we do here plus the performance work. So we got our mechanic guy. So I'm I go over, try to help diagnose the cars, figure out what we need and stuff like that. Come up here, get parts ordered. I'm kind of keep in touch with my, the customers. I'm trying to make sure, that they're working and they're doing everything right. Plus, I'm over here trying to install breathalyzers, stereo systems, all that, answer phones. I run around like a madman all day long.
Dude, that's pretty crazy. Man, wow. Yeah, I immediately in my mind think, how do you, bring the level of work down, but the level of working on so many different things, right? Because that truly is one of the hardest things about all of what you do, right? Is because if you're doing a breathalyzer, but then this guy needs help on, welding up a cold side. Now, that part of your brain, it's like you're activating different spots all day, every day, 20 hours a day. I can't imagine.
Yeah, the nice part, honestly, having Jeff come in here, honestly, was the huge game changer. Because trying to, honestly, being the only one that really welded around here, Nick can weld. He's just...
We kind of took our directions. I was actually TIG welding before he was.
TIG welding before me. I was a structural welder back in the day. So I worked in power plants, paper mills. I hung iron, and I was a structural welder. So I did stick welding, and I honestly haven't touched a damn stick welder since I got here. I loved it. I was good at it. But now, I was, obviously I could probably teach a monkey to MIG weld in like a couple hours, so that doesn't count. TIG welding, though, honestly, was the truth is I really suck at multitasking. I really do. Even though I wear a lot of capes and I run back and forth, I really am not good at multitasking. And I say it a million times. So for me to sit here and try to work a foot pedal, hold a rod, and do this, it took me a hot minute, but I'll say I'm pretty damn good at it now.
I've seen the welds. They're awesome.
It's one of the coolest things about us, I guess, if you could ever there's a couple things that, I guess, people ask me all the time, if the car is yours too, why don't you ever drive? And we kind of went through why we do things the way we do it, because trust me, I can cut a light, I can drive. I was drag racing for a long time. I did motorcycle stuff. The stuff I've always did was hand-eye coordination stuff anyways. But what we found is that you're better at things if everybody stays in a lane and you don't try to do too much. How people say, man, I wish there's 2 of me. We kind of have that. And that's where I think is our advantage. Dave brings this up all the time. we go to races. You look at a team over here. They got a guy that grabs the laptop that tunes the car. They got a guy that does the chassis tuning. They got a guy that drives. They got a guy that builds engine. They got a guy that does crane.
They got a guy that does the wiring.
We the two of us do all those things, but we pick our lanes. Like we get back from a pass, even though he's a driver, he gets out, he does the fuel, he does the shoot, he nut and bolt checks, he pulls the hood. I know as soon as he pulls back in, the first thing I'm doing is pulling the laptop, getting it to it, and I go hike. Like I get in the car or go somewhere where people aren't around me, because you only get a couple of minutes to go over the data, and you're looking at fine your incremental stuff to look at. And then I usually
the shots one click. It literally we're looking at like Excel G and like, oh hey, you know, we need to limit the front one more hole because we're about to be driving into a wheelie. I'm going to put a little bit more in it, so we need to do this. There's little itty bitty incremental changes every single time.
So we've got a system now. Like Dave, once I get back, like he won't even come talk to me why I'm looking this. Like I'll either go to my truck and get in it and close the door, and they make jokes about it. And I laugh at the jokes too, because it's what it seems like. But I disappear when I'm doing the tuning stuff. But I'm doing it for a reason, because literally I get asked. He'll watch, dude. People will come up to us, and this is nothing to do with YouTube or nothing, but they know that you know how to tune a car, and you're at a racetrack, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now. You'll get flocks. Like, hey man, can you come look at this? Hey man, can you and I'm like trying to do stuff, and I love helping people, dude. It's one of my
favorite. I've been one of those guys before with a camera. Hey man,
I don't mind. No, we don't mind. We try to, like, you know, like he's got his nose buried on a laptop, you know, and we're trying to get ready to go into like, you know, round 3 of eliminations or semifinals or something. Somebody comes over, hey man, can you look at my tune real quick? Blah blah blah. And it's like, you don't want to be the a-hole.
Sorry,
but hey man, come see me in a little bit.
Trying to win a race here.
We got to get this taken care of, you know.
But how many like going back to what I was saying, though, what puts us in a different category is that we build our whole chassis from scratch. We wired our own chassis, you know, whole chassis, every body panel, every weld, up until the SML from Steve. We built our own engine. Like there wasn't nothing. The only thing that we have somebody do, Dave does rear ends in them, was the transmissions. And John is one of our best friends in the whole world, dude. And he builds our transmissions, but we have a complete rebuild kit that goes with us everywhere. Because we figured out if you have everything to do, like fix stuff, you don't need it. And dude, like our transmission is always solid.
Yeah, we always carry. So when John builds our transmission, he always stacks up every drum and all the stuff to see everything that we need, not just steels and all that.
Gaskets, new filter.
The whole kit is sitting with us all the time, ready to go, spec for our transmission already, for the way he wants the drums set up.
Yep.
Wow. And then we don't I can build them. I can build them. So if I got to pull it out, pull it apart, put new stuff in it, short of like we break a hard part that we can't replace.
Yeah. We got extra
intermediate shaft, stuff like that. But like if I break a gear set or something like that, you know, I don't have a gear set with us.
Yeah.
So those are expensive.
That's like if there's one thing that I can say that puts us in a different category than everybody else, and that you bringing up like all the multi stuff that we do here. We all kind of have our own lane, but we can all do everything.
Yeah.
Like if I had to go weld, if he broke both his hands and I had to go weld our charge pipes up, trust me, I can go do it. If he had to just grab the laptop and do the tune-ups because I'm blind or something.
I mean, he's getting there, dude.
Yeah.
45.
So you're over there talking to other people about their tunes. He's like, I got to put this tune in.
No, Dave does some tuning. I mean, he'll jump in a car and do some stuff here or tell me, hey, this is what doing. And I do factory ECUs because there ain't nothing harder than trying to tune a factory ECU. I promise you, buddy. Especially big horsepower stuff. You're trying to make everything work. So if you can do that,
you're basically tricking the ECU into doing what you're asking it. Yeah.
Oh man, especially you get some of these factory ECUs, and you got, you know, he's done it back in the day, like Chris's car when Chris set, you know, well, he held the G8 record for a long time at 4,200 pounds. He went 892. 4,200 pounds on a bone stock LS2 with a cam and springs in it.
Yep.
Wow.
And stock trans, stock rear end, stock.
Yeah, he still had a 680. He still had IRS. He had everything. We were using factory ECU and a dang AEM True Boost in that car.
Yeah. Hey, where is our True Boost? He owes us for that.
So, like, when, you know, Nick tuned all that in that car. I mean, that thing was just ripping, you know.
It was an animal.
For what it is, you know, that's crazy, you know, but he had to go in there and do a lot of tricky stuff to make 210s play with that ECU the proper way and all sorts of other stuff to make it happen.
Right. So like in the shop world, like I think one of the hardest things, because I for a while I ran the social for a shop in just a small town here locally, right? And I think that's one of the hardest things guys have is like, how do you delegate? How do you figure out which projects you're going to take on, right? Because like, dude, with the names you guys have, the races you go to, the cars performance and stuff, like there's people that bring you, I cannot imagine the randomness of what you guys deal with on a weekly basis. You know, if you're doing regular maintenance on somebody's tow rig, but you may also be putting a new cold side on their race car. Like, how do you figure that out? Help shop owners out there in the world figure this out.
I don't think we've figured it out yet, honestly.
I was going to say Dave's probably the last. I have a good bearing on it. It's going to sound bad, but it's like you said, it's a shop owner thing. I'll do any job as long as the dollars make sense. Time frame versus what you're going to make in money. I don't like cars. To be honest with you, me and Dave are different in this way. If I bring a car in, I want to go balls to the wall until it's done and have it out the door literally the same day if I could. Like I do not like dragging feet. I will order something that costs $100 more to have it here the next day. I'm not worried about somebody else's wallet in that way because my idea is that if we're going to make it the best we can for you, the faster we get the job done correctly and back to you. I can't look at the dollar side of it because that's not my problem. I have to have the next job in because the longer something sits, the more it takes. So I don't care if you bring a tow rig in and need your turbo swapped out or you need a brake job done on it. If we can do it in this amount of time and make this much money so that both of us are happy, then it works for me. And like you said, we do a wide range, and that also helps with the monotony of being at shop all day. You know, if you did the same things every day, I think I'm already half crazy anyways. I would probably go more crazy.
Yeah, I think that is one of the hardest things. Like my brother doesn't do any like normal car stuff. He doesn't do any maintenance or anything like that. Very light audio work, but like LS swaps and turbo kits and things like that, you know, like fun. He wants to do fun stuff. And again, he's not running at the level you guys are. And so it's always interesting to see how other shop owners kind of approach that. And I think that's probably the best way you can, because he's the same way. He'll have, like, he won't take any more than like 3, maybe 4 projects at a time, because he's like, I want to get this out of here. I don't want to be waiting on somebody's parts. I don't want to be waiting on, them waiting on me, basically, I guess is the way to say that. So.
Yeah, usually, I mean, realistically, the truth is, I know a lot of mechanic shops, and like typically, my buddy Greg Breton, his brother Adam Breton's a good example of this one. So like, he'll typically have 2 hoists that are allotted to him. So like, this car's on this hoist, parts are ordered, they're waiting on parts to come in. He's working on the other hoist for the other car, blah blah blah, and kind of flips back and forth. You can't just have one car in the shop. Yeah, because you're going to have downtime, dead time, stuff like that. And it's just wasted time and it's wasted dollars. So 2 to 3 jobs, you start getting to 3, honestly, starts pushing the envelope, especially considering what the job is. Mm-hmm. But, like we get a lot of like, hey, supercharger, hey, long tube headers, exhaust, like I try to schedule them in a manner like them jobs come in. I don't schedule anything else. Like I know, hey, we're putting a supercharger on this car. 3 days is more than enough to get this job done. For them 3 days, I'm not scheduling another job. I'm not taking on another job, but we're also not bringing that car in until all the parts are sitting here for that car.
That's the important part right there. I don't want to bring. I don't have a car getting dropped off.
I want to bring my car dropped to you. I want to get the supercharger. No, we're going to order your supercharger. We're going to have everything sitting here. We're going to have it done. Everything's going to sit here. We're going to have a day scheduled for your car to come in. We want to get your car done. We want to get it back to you in a timeliest manner we can. And we also don't want it here. We want to turn it around, make money too.
Because I don't want it sitting outside waiting. You know what I mean? There's no point in it waiting at my shop instead of waiting at your shop.
Some of these other jobs, what we've started to do too is, we have a big facility without a doubt, but holding on to cars, man, you risk getting something damaged, scratched, dinged, dented, whatever it be. Yeah. So like some of the jobs that we've done recently, like, where I'm doing engine builds and stuff like that, where we're pulling the motors and everything. We'll pull the motors out. We get them stripped down. The car goes on a tow truck, shipped back to the customer's house. Once the motor and everything's here and we're done and we're ready and they have all the money to complete the next step, we bring the car back and put the stuff in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, to wrap this up, and y'all, I'm sorry for taking so much of your time, but I love talking to you guys. We talk a bunch at the events and stuff, but I think this is fun for
everybody. Get to talk at the events. That's the bad part.
Dude, I know. It's like, this is probably longer than we've talked ever, and we've been in a bunch of together. Let's talk about this YouTube thing, man. Growing more than 10,000 subs in a year is insane for automotive people that aren't doing dumb stuff, right? You guys you're not blowing shit up like whistling diesel type stuff. You're building cars, you're racing cars, you're doing all this stuff. You guys have done a hell of a job at consistency, I would say.
Well, we slacked off for a minute there. It's hard. And the biggest thing I'll say, being, I've always wanted to do the YouTube thing. I've always liked it, stuff like that. We've talked about it for a long time. Honestly, the hardest part is I'm the one doing the work 99% of the time, and it's hard, or he's the one doing the work. And it's good if he's here and he sees I'm doing something, he'll walk in, he'll grab the phone, he'll be like, hey, man, you're not recording. He'll start recording for me. And I'm like, I've been trying to get better about grabbing the camera and do stuff. But it's like, I go from here to here to here to here to here to here to here, and I'm all over the place. Like during the day, it's hard for me to record anything during days because I'm in so many places. Jeff's been getting a little better about grabbing the phone, and when he's working on stuff, kind of explaining what he's doing, and we're trying to be better about it. It's hard to remember, especially when you're trying to work, focus, and make money.
The fact that I have got where I can edit too, like because Harley, he'll run off with precision turbos for a week, like he was down in Texas, and we didn't have anybody for that. Thank goodness for Steve Morris and Nate over there. They would let me send footage to them, and they would edit it out for me and get something around. But I feel bad asking people for help. I hate asking for help, man. It's one of those things, and we're blessed that we have people that are willing to help us. But it feels good to be able to do the videos myself. But man, I can't do a thumbnail save my life. So dude, I gotta study up on that.
I will say big shout out to Brian, our video editor guy. It's been a game changer with him. Because we have so much content that we get from these shows. We've been on 2 hours and 35 minutes. There's no way I could go in and do what he does. We'll end up with 8 or 10 videos from this video itself, right? But you talk about thumbnails, bro. What up, Chris?
Wow, you guys have fun.
Oh man,
I didn't like the ones I did. And I thought I did a horrible job.
Dude, these are awesome, man. What are you talking about? These are great. I think that is one of the hardest things, though. Well, just the figuring all that out. For people that don't understand, you can have an hour in just figuring out the thumbnail.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, you have no idea.
I'll be honest, I don't know. So it's difficult. I don't think this guy, I don't sleep much as it is. I already struggle to sleep as it is. And I don't know how this guy does it. We're here till 11 o'clock at night, half the nights and stuff like that. Then he's going home and making a thumbnail and stuff like that.
No, I did. I went home and edited both those.
This dude's up till 1 o'clock in the morning making a thumbnail. Then dude, I don't know if you've noticed this, anybody in the videos or anything like that, how much weight this guy has lost. And I mean, I'm being sincere. He is, he decided, you know what? I'm going to be better. And I need to be better too, but I struggle to sleep at night. So I struggle to get up in the morning as early as him. But this dude's at the gym 5 days a week. Every morning, he's there. I usually pass by at 7:30-ish, 8 o'clock past the gym, and his car's parked out there, and he's at the gym. Wow.
That's awesome,
working out before going to work. And then before coming over here and working more, and then going home and doing more work.
It's impressive, dude. You need a video editor, or at least somebody maybe.
Harley's awesome. Yeah, Harley's absolutely awesome. And he chooses electively to do it. He was coming in here when we met. He was coming in here getting his nitrous filled. Is kind of how we met because nobody around here does nitrous fills. We do. So he was coming in here getting his nitrous filled and stuff like that, and then he made us a thumbnail and stuff one day and a little video and stuff. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, dude. That's sweet. Hey, man, don't worry about your nitrous fill. This one's on me, dude, that's cool as hell. And then, and then he come to the track and he did some filming for us at the 6 shootout up there at the NMRA, NHRA race or whatever it was. And NMRA and MCA, sorry.
Yeah.
He did this. We were at the 6 shootout and we absolutely sucked that race, but he was up there hanging out and filmed that and then edited that video. And then he just started hanging out around the shop. He's like, man, you guys are freaking awesome. I'm like, I don't know why you like us, but
you're gonna get yourself in trouble. You're gonna get yourself in trouble
to hang out with, I promise.
We're gonna cost you money and sleep. That's the things we can do.
Yeah, but that's really cool, man.
Then he just, now like I said, he doesn't want to be the media guy. He's the homie that hangs out and does some videos for us. That's how he views it. He just loves generally being around us and hanging out. And he's like, man, I've never really clicked with anybody. I've never found anybody like me. I've always kept to myself, dude. He goes, well, you guys are stupid. You guys are dumber than me. And I like it.
He's like, you guys are dumb like me. I love you. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Well, again, you guys have done a killer job, man. What can folks look for this season on the show, on the channel?
Dude, we're gonna continue to build. We do a lot of racing content. I enjoy the racing content. I don't know if it does as good on for people, but I like to show like what it takes to go try to win a race and all the ins and outs of what we're doing. I think that for me, I like watching that stuff myself. So doing it is kind of cool. We take it a step farther, and usually I know a lot of guys hold stuff to their chest. I talk about suspension and the stuff that I've learned over the years because that's what we struggled with for a long time. Man. And now I have ways of doing stuff. My way of doing stuff and might be different than everybody else's, but our way seems to work. And I have people calling me on a daily basis now. It's kind of funny, like you were talking about. Like I have guys chassis shops and people that do suspension. Like, hey man, what would you do? And I'm like, really? This is what I'm doing. But the truth is that we race on many different surfaces and many different type of cars, and you build a book of what you know works and don't work, and I don't mind sharing it. I do like charge if you wanted me to come take your car and measure it and get it track ready and go to the track and make it work. Yeah, there's a dollar sign that goes with that because it's a lot of work. But if you have a quick question, I don't mind helping guys. But I would if everybody could jump on the Diehl Brothers Racing channel. A like and a subscribe is awesome. If people could share, it's hard. You know this. I know you've been working on yours. To build a YouTube channel is not like trying to have a Facebook. Like Facebook, you can grow followers pretty quick. It is really tough. People are really critical of how you do things.
Man. Yeah.
And you got to be thick skinned because I got people all the time. You know, half the people they fall in love with you. Like one of the things I will say that's been really, what do you guys call it? What would you call it? I don't want to say eye-opening, but humbling. One of the things that's been humbling is when we show up to an event in Florida or even we were at Autorama and guys, somebody from a different country is flown in and one of their goals was to come meet you.
Like cool.
It stopped me in my tracks. I had no idea how to handle that.
No, I'm not good with stuff like that either.
No, dude, I was quite emotional. I'm like, why would you care about seeing that? Like, we didn't realize that we had an impact on anybody in a good, bad, or indifferent way. But I'll tell you one real quick moment to kind of caveats into this whole deal is that Sick Week this year, not only was there random people that came and gave us stuff and come seen us and hugged us and thanked us and liked our videos, but I went to grab pizza and I got somebody tugged on my shoulder and it was freaking Clay Milliken.
Yeah,
and he
cool.
Come around and I said, hey, you know, I knew who he was, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And Clay goes, man, dude, I really enjoy your videos. That last one was really good. And I had dropped my freaking pizza at this point. It was like, dude, stop it. You're joking. Like, there's no way you're watching our videos. And he goes, oh, I can tell you exactly what happened. You did this and this and this. And then the video before that, you did this. I'm like, bro.
Dude, that's pretty awesome.
Cool. He is one of the coolest, like, hands down, you probably already know this, and everybody in land knows this, dude. Clay Milliken is probably one of the coolest, down-to-earth people I've ever met in my life that is up here. I'm not a fanboy of anybody really ever, but I'm telling you, the way that he treats people and the way he handles himself, man, if anything, he's awesome, dude. He found us every day after that.
Yeah, I swear. He found us every day and come and hung out.
Dude, it was like,
how cool, man.
Good, but boy, you're making me feel good. So,
dude,
Clay watches the show, which I hope he does, because he's getting ready to do a drag and drive. He has a truck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I can't wait, man. I've just been waiting. I really thought when I saw him with Lutz down there, you know, they were like on the line or something, and I really thought, man, I was like, okay, where's the truck at? That's what they brought down or something, you know. But sadly, not this round. But Mark Campbell with Deechworks is a real good friend of his, and went out and did some tuning and stuff like that a couple of weeks ago at Holly Springs, Mississippi. And dude, they got the truck running great. So maybe we're getting close. I don't know. So we're gonna find out.
I hope so. I think he likes it, dude. I know. I don't think he said, man, drag and drive is one of the coolest freaking things ever. And I said, man, to have a guy that gets to get into one of the baddest cars ever, say, hey man, drag and drive is cool. That is that tells you what we're going the right direction. To have that is pretty awesome. And I just want you to know, you yourself, Mike, and everybody there, of course, but you individually, because I met you years ago. You have been one of the biggest advocates for drag and drive, period.
I appreciate that.
Since we've been around the game anyways, for sure. Yeah. And the fact that you gave, and I say this to Luke and, of course, Tom and Derek's one of my favorite people in the whole world. Mm-hmm. But you're one of those people, too, that gave guys that didn't have a name, nobody knew. You took pictures, you talked about them, you went up and did interviews with them, and nobody knew who they were. And it doesn't seem like it means something, but it does, because we wouldn't be where we're at if guys like you wouldn't have put our names. Like the sponsors we got brought to us. We never went after anybody. We've never asked for a sponsorship, and the companies that have came to us are, I feel, hand down, not just because they've tried to hand us things or give us things or help us, but they're the right ones because they're family orientated. They came to us because it was organic and it fit. Like I said, the guys at AFCO and Bullseye and Detroit Battery, all of it, Maxwell, we're like a family. And it was guys like you, though, they wouldn't know our name. They wouldn't even know who we are. And Derek and Luke and Steve. So I want to say I appreciate everybody out there that takes the little guys, takes the pictures, takes the interviews, and talks about them. Because we're still little guys. I mean, I don't put us on any kind of pedestal. If anything, we're below a lot of everybody's, and that's okay. We're here to just have fun and go fast.
Yeah, well, you guys are definitely doing it. Now, I appreciate the kind words, man. Thanks so much. It means a lot. We pour a ton of time and heart and soul into this thing. And dude, I'm telling you, the Drag and Drive community to me is the best car community that's out there. Like
hands down.
You know, like it's everybody wants everybody to get to the next track and do all the stuff they can. So, you know, if we can help push that in, we're going to. Well, y'all listen, I think we just need to make the show 3 hours.
It was 13 more minutes. So to talk about what you were just saying, you know, it's really cool. The Drag and Drive community is I wholeheartedly feel like I could be going anywhere in this country right now.
Yep.
Blow a tire, have something happen, and you see it all the time on the Drag and Drives. Hey, I'm here. I'm in Wyoming, headed to Florida, and I got a flat tire. Can anybody help? And somebody is there.
Like that's one of the cool things we talk about with my wife. I tell my wife we have family in every state, every city in this whole country because somebody in that area drag and drives, and I guarantee you, if a drag and driver needs help, I don't care, it's going to happen. So,
well,
somebody knows something.
Yeah, I was going to say Trevor Brandon is a great story of that. He's coming from Canada, had never been in the middle part of the country there, and has a blowout on the trailer with the GTR. Has a blowout on the trailer. In Kansas City, Red Hat Scotty runs over him on the worst snowstorms and gets him taken care of. Like, dude, those are two guys that they had been at the same events, but like, those are two guys that would never have any other reason to hang out, outside of a drag and drive except right then. So it's the same thing. You know, it's amazing.
Freaking awesome, man.
No, it definitely is a big family, you know, like even honestly, the truth is even like the ward people and all that, man. Like, dude, like, I mean,
I really think that's probably one of the biggest growth areas we're not tapped into yet, right? SICK does a hell of a job with it. SICK Ward is amazing. I mean, they have 200 or 300 cars at each event, but like you go to some of the other events and they've got 30, 40, 50 cars maybe. It's like basically the wife was going to have to drive along with them. Well, I might as well sign up for this anyways, So I think we can definitely see some growth there. It's really kind of it's a great trajectory that the whole community is on. Like, if we can keep this community, which I think we can, because you have so many returning racers, I think that's one of the best things that Rocky Mountain has done is really get that 70-75% of people back year over year. And so as those people continue to come back, you end up with, like, if somebody couldn't go find Luke or Derek or whatever, they could come find you guys because they know you've done 5 of these SICK weeks. Yeah, they know who to look for. They know they don't have to. They don't have to go find the promoter each time. They can ask just about anybody else in the parking lot.
Yeah, we're also blessed in the drag and drive world, and I think everybody knows it, but people don't say it a lot. I mean, to have Keith Turk as who better to represent the rules and the regulations and to uphold all that than Keith Turk out of everybody in the whole world. How does that work? How do you end up with that man in that position? There's no better person you could ever think of to handle that stuff.
Well, and for 20 years, I mean, like he's done it since the beginning. So like he has all of that history of like seeing like, back before street race class was even a class, it was all super street, right? Or sorry, I have that backwards. It was street race and then super street came out because guys were going faster. And so, like, you kind of create this entire, like, he's one of the guys that created all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just wild.
No, we're just like I said, to have him in the same community with all of us, man, is honestly one of those things.
I think that's probably one of my favorite things about Drag and Drives, man. Honestly, just going to see all my people.
Yeah,
people. Go see all my people.
Friends,
go hang out with Rick Dodge and Keith Turk, and you're there, and just even Brian and Jay. We don't see them in a lot of local races, not like that, because they're off doing their things. We're doing different things, but when we come across, Sick Summer or Sick Week or one of these Drag and Drives, we get to see them and hang out with them, and I love them guys.
Derek, dude. I don't know, man.
Love Derek.
Yeah, Derek's one of we get to talking and messing around with him, dude. We'll forget to leave the damn track. That's the bad thing with him.
I think Derek with the Sick Summer, the very first time we went a 7.
Oh my God,
that was
that was my moment right there.
That was your moment.
Yep.
Like we're running 7s, we hot lap.
We'll leave this mug in a body bag, but we're running a 7.
Back to back. Finally, like a 787 or something like that. Like Derek, I've never heard that man yell so dang loud.
That was his first event, though.
Yeah.
So he was the way he announced that, though. We're in the 9th inning. Like he's announcing this as we're pulling up the line. The last person to go down track, 9th inning.
Bottom of the ninth.
This is the last inning.
2 strikes.
This is it. This is it right here. Like either this goes or they go home. Like the way he presented that whole deal.
I wish we could go back and find the audio.
If somebody has it, but I'm telling you, it was a moment. Like I want that in a video because that was one of the best moments ever.
Yeah.
It was our first 7-second pass, and it was on the Drag and Drive. It was hot and greasy, and it felt.
We were struggling to get the car down the track.
So, all right. Unfortunately,
awesome.
We're not getting any more work done on our car tonight. So,
you guys are awesome. Sorry to take you away from that. We mentioned
this. Man, I had a blast with you tonight, but
you guys are so cool, man. This is the most we've talked in probably. And if you took all of the times we've talked at events, this is by far the longest we've.
You could probably add all of them. We see each other at a lot of Drag and Drives and stuff like that, and we definitely talk, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there and stuff, but to actually sit down and chit chat, is awesome.
Yeah, I love to when we get in the same town at some point, somewhere that we could all go get a bite to eat somewhere. And I think we'd have too much fun though, so it might be a bad idea.
Yeah. Hey, bring it on. All right.
We're going to take oh man, I can't think of him. Clark. We're going to drag Clark with us because he owes like 18 steak dinners at this point, and it's all going to be on him.
I'm going to make his car go 6s. All right, good night, guys. Diehl Brothers Racing on YouTube. Diehl Brothers Racing on Facebook. Actually, I use my personal Nick Diehl on Facebook more than anything. As you said, I post every day. Instagram, Diehl Brothers Racing, and TikTok, Diehl Brothers Racing. And all the other ones that everybody does, I haven't did yet. I know there's like a Threads and a Rumbles and all that stuff. Maybe someday. I can barely keep up with it now. So we appreciate everybody over at Drag Drive Repeat. Thanks for having us on the show tonight.
All right, buddy. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.
See ya.
Thank you.
How freaking cool, man. I can't tell y'all how much those guys are awesome. I appreciate them giving so much time. You have to understand those guys are thrashing their asses off right now to take 4 cars to streetcar bragging, right? So when it comes down to it, you guys have to go. You have to go follow Diehl Brothers Racing. Please, please, please do that. I want to give a big shout out. Say thanks to Doug Vine for being on earlier. Appreciate him taking the time to come on. I mean, obviously, oil usage and all that kind of stuff is very important for everything that we do within the drag and drive community. Oil usage, oil storage, oil getting to the right spots of the motor. Hey guys, thank you. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you for being our race car friends, man. We really can't do this without you guys. It's pretty awesome to think the group of people that we've built over the time of doing all these live streams like this. I think this puts us almost 300 live streams that we've done. In this setting here, this format style, 250, something like that. So it's pretty awesome to have you guys here. I want to say thanks for all the shares, all the comments, all the cool stuff tonight for sure. And then thank you so much to our sponsors. Again, guys, if you are shopping, please hit these guys up. I know they've got stuff that you need for your car. Summit Racing, they probably carry everything that's listed underneath this here. Deech Works, of course, official fuel delivery of Drag Drive Repeat, Molly Motorsports, best pistons in the game. Driven Racing Oil. If you need your stuff to keep going round, that's what Driven Racing Oil is going to help you with. Howard's Cams, of course, Luke B over there can get you set up with any kind of valve train stuff you need. He is the guy. He can help you design a setup. He can custom cut a cam. He can find you something that'll work for what you need right now too. J-Wire Solutions, love Jay. He was on last week. That's a really good interview. They are upgrading the facility. They're coming out with all kinds of new parts. You guys will have to go over and listen to that episode. AFCO Racing Products, you heard the Diehl Brothers give a huge shout out to AFCO and how Rex and Eric helped them go faster. Performer Built Transmissions, guys, Ryan Snyder and the team. Y'all, I mean, you heard it right here. Like David Diehl talked about using Ryan Snyder's videos on Performer Built Transmissions YouTube channel to rebuild transmissions to make them better on cars that he raced. Can't get any better than that. Car Change 3D. If you are looking for super cool gifts, if you're looking for cup holders for about every shifter that's out there, carchange3d.com. And of course, our newest sponsor, Low Dollar Motorsports, man. Can't thank Brandon and the team over there enough. They have signed up as the daily burnout sponsor. So every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, you're going to see a burnout. We have a reel a week and then 6 photos a week. So big shout out to Low Dollar. They are helping. That sponsorship package helps us provide, a lot of the stuff that we do here across the year. And of course, PowerTube TV, where every Tuesday night you can see one of our episodes, and we are also providing exclusive content over there for them as well. And then Racing Junk Classifieds, the buy sell trade, the official buy sell trade of Drag Drive Repeat. So Eric features drag and drive cars each Saturday morning right here on the Drag Drive Repeat News. That's it, guys. Thanks a bunch. We'll see you soon.